That shit. Jerry Jones
is
drink,
it-
Johnny Walker Blue.
Yes, the Jerry Jones drink, but is it like whiskey?
It's Scotch.
Ooh,
Scotch. It's Scotch, man. Start up a car.
rough right there. Yeah, that's rough right there.
Say, ooh. Yeah. You want me to go and hit the button over here on his head?
Hit it. Yeah, you
Hit it.
Yeah, you should have been hit the button.
Hit it to win it, baby.
Should have been hit that button, man.
Johnny Walker. How old Jerry Jones is, y'all?
I'm gonna be nice.
Oh, 90.
I'm gonna be nice today.
Oh, okay. I ain't gonna start it.
No, I ain't. No, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying. I ain't being nice. I don't care. I'm tired of people getting gas.
Shame.
Shame. There you go.
Shame.
Shame.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
What up, Murphy? What up, Logan? KD, T Smooth TV.
Low.
What's up? You know what it is. It's the final word, baby. The final word. The final what word? Final what word? Boom, boom. Yeah.
Everybody up.
That's what Sean Payton screaming. This is Dallas.
Yeah, he be in Dallas, man. He in Dallas today.
Yeah, man. You already know what it is, dog. Uh-oh. Here comes. Here is that him coming in and out like normal?
Oh man.
I got a push on today, ball.
Big game, James.
Shane.
All right,
Where is
man.
Dang. Oh, he killing Josh Allen already?
Yeah, we got West Coast in the house, man. He
long,
figured out the sound.
Come
He
on,
figured
man.
out.
Come on, Murphy. Heavy.
We got West Coast in the house. Y'all hear me?
Give me about 10 seconds. T minus 10 seconds.
Shoot, I'm gonna need a little bit.
Come on, computer. Wake up.
Wake
Oh,
up.
my computer over here.
Get up.
Get on up.
Off
What up, Juwan James? What's up, baby?
The third cousin twice removed. All right, I'm ready, baby.
All right.
Put that papella on, man. We'll feel the pain while it's in there.
Jay Lombardi, what's good, baby?
Day all day.
Y'all give us a couple more seconds, man. You know how it go.
Man, I like low key. I like that DA and then found a word. I kind of like that. Y'all put that in the chat. Put that in the chat. Although
that?
it's D, but I like
Cali
the DA.
Cowboy 805. Oh, you just took it off, dog. The lunatic. What's up? That beat was rocking. What happened?
I know, man. I had to take the beat.
You
off,
just had to
big
cut
dog. I had to
Okay, it's
cut it,
all
man.
good.
It's showtime,
It's all
baby.
good.
Let me hear one.
You got to cut it. You got to cut it.
Let me see it. All right, so the
That
OC
beat
video
go
looking
hard, though.
fantastic.
Is it looking fantastic?
Man.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Hey,
Spiffy.
and we got the West Coast in the building. He in the back
he
figuring
finally
out
in
the
the building?
sound. As soon as
Oh,
I
okay,
get
I
his
was about to
sound going, ooh, we got the big dog in the house. You know what I'm saying? We got the
What's
Lost,
up, man? Appreciate you, man.
the big,
You know it.
chilling with
Yo
the
got
West.
fire.
Yo, West Side in the house, man. So yeah. But real quick, man. Big, we always kick it off with you, big dog.
I appreciate that.
But
too.
then
You
after
make me
that,
feel
I
so
got something on
special
my
when you do
mind,
that.
bro.
Okay, I won't go long. I want to hear
Alright.
your mind. All right. So we'll start. All right. So I'm just gonna start first. I'm not. I haven't decided if I'm gonna be nice to Jerry Jones today or I'm gonna be mean to Jerry Jones today. I'm gonna be nice because I don't hate Jerry Jones. Let everybody know that I don't hate him. But all I'm gonna say is this: everybody talking all this Sean Payton stuff. This is the only thing I'm gonna say about it. I'm gonna give it right to you, boss.
No, take your time.
If Sean Payton were to come over here, okay, with all this stuff, and he don't do it, you run it. No more excuses. This your last excuse, in my opinion, Jerry Jones. This your last excuse. You can't run no more. The fans, whatever, y'all can't run no more and say, "Oh, well, let's go. If we just get this coach." Now, boss, let me give me one more minute on this, because remember when we had Dave Campo? If we just had a tough, hard coach, if we just had a tough, hard no coach, we ain't gonna win with nobody. We need a strong coach. Just after Jimmy Johnson gone, we need a strong head coach. We need that tough guy. We're not got Bill Parcells. Oh man, Bill Parcells, he too hard, he too rough, he too tough. We need somebody we can have fun with. You know, we gotta have fun with Bill. Let me go ahead and get Wade Phillips. He's fun. No, we don't need no Wade Phillips. He too easy. It's powder puff over there. He said, are you getting what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? See, everybody want to keep crying about, oh, let's get this coach. It'll make the difference. Well, let's get this coach and let's get that coach and let's get this coach. But it's been 26 years of all these different coaches, and we just said, if we just get rid of Garrett, we'll be okay. If we just get rid of Garrett, we'll be okay. Well, Garrett's gone, and it's still the exact same thing. So if Sean Payton were to come over here and it happens again, I don't want to hear nobody else telling me, oh, well, let's go get it. It's just that. No, you know what it is. I'm done.
All right, because I'm gonna talk. Okay, before we talk about Sean Payton, because I do want to talk about Sean Payton. All right. I want to talk about something that's kind of on my heart, and I want to get all of y'all opinion, and hopefully by then my boy West Coast got his stuff working and we'll really be rocking. All right, because it's gonna be on. Right. But check this. Oh man. So I'm gonna go to my Twitter page. So my Twitter page, a couple of things is registering with the fans. All right. So obviously, we got Twitter streaming also on Twitter, just FYI. But anyway, a couple of things. Let me start with the one that's moving fast right now. Where I said I don't feel sorry for Buffalo or Josh Allen like other Cowboy fans. We survived the catch. Right. Buffalo will survive overtime rules. Have a seat like the rest of us. What's y'all thoughts on that, man?
I mean, you're right on it, man. Shoot, I get it. People give a lot of praises to the other quarterbacks. And before you read that one, I wish you'd have read the other one about, can you read that one before I get into the details?
Bro, so we can just dive into it all.
Oh, together.
So see, Law.
That's where I'm heading to.
See, hold on real quick, man. See, this is what you got to do, man, when you're dealing with the homie.
Thanks for chocolate.
Say, listen, man, that boy understand the game. Let's get all these topics together. Let's get it in. All right, here we go. Where I said, it was a day when we fought for our guys. Many Cowboy fans have become strippers, begging for a tip from Mahomes, Allen, and Burrow. Respect our game, but let's be clear. Those QBs, the enemy to Dallas. Dak is our quarterback. Get off the pole and get back to supporting. Yeah, I meant that though. Yeah, but go ahead on that, Law, and then we'll just rotate that.
Yeah, because my thing is, and I get it. I grew up in an era where Jim Kelly was nice, John Elway was nice. My brother, me and my brother go back and forth.
It's just when that ball in there, he make that.
Try to put the ball down, he does it better than anybody. That's probably why he was playing wide receiver before.
Man.
Oh, I was about to say, what was that?
No. In the era, Montana was killing it. And then Montana, Steve Young. But dog it, and I know people gonna hit me with, hey, but Troy Aikman won championships. Excuse me, Cowboy Nation. He didn't win it his first 2, 3, or 4 seasons. And I get it, but he did win it. He did win eventually a championship, but he was still viewed not as of the era not as good as Dan Marino, not as good as Jim Kelly, not as good as et cetera the other quarterbacks, right? But what I want to say is this right here. I get it. We don't have a Super Bowl ring, but people who pump up Pat Mahomes, who is good by the way, we don't have Andy Reid as coach. We had Jason Garrett, a big game, James. You know,
right?
And on top of that, we had last season, and these are not bevies of excuses. These are facts. You know,
Facts.
We had a third-year offensive coordinator who draw stick routes and comeback routes, and you can break down the film all you want to. Hey, on quarters defense, what you expect? There was nothing that most of these players are going to get anyway. I know it sounds like a bevy of excuses. But, dog it, whatever happened to fighting for your team, whatever happened to looking at your team and say, okay, yeah, y'all talking all that in good noise, but still, outside of the Steelers, outside of the Patriot fans, man, we still up there with Super Bowl rings. And I get it, we haven't won in a long time. But whatever happened to your allegiance to your team? Everybody is so quick to jump ship and go over there and look at Pat Mahomes, go over there and look at Josh Allen, go over there and look at Joe Burrows, go over there to even look at Matthew Stafford, who now he finally got a team together. He won 2 playoff games, right? I digress.
Yeah, Law. Unless somebody else has something on that, but I definitely had something on that because, man, like you named off some really good quarterbacks. Never in my mind did it even hit me to compare.
Right.
Aikman to Steve Young. Because that's what made me write that tweet, and it's registering. It's getting a lot of shares, you know,
right,
and a lot of love because it registered because there's a generation of us who couldn't even fathom the thought of comparing Aikman to those other guys. We always knew, like, who cares? Here's our guy. He's good enough, and we finna go. This is our guy. None of this, I wish, ooh, if we had Burrow, ooh, Allen. It's like, shut up.
You're right. You're right.
He made me be quiet.
Hey,
I was like, okay.
Bro.
Right. Because guess what? Bob? It didn't stop right there. It didn't stop right there because it was Thurman Thomas, it was Natron Mean, it was Craig Hayward, it was Jerome Bettis. Everybody was talking about
Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I want to play devil's advocate a little bit right in here. Play a little devil's advocate, boss.
That's fair.
Now, I feel everything you're saying. I totally agree with you saying.
Right.
But now it's social media. It's a totally different world now, and it's easier for people to just, we don't know if those things would have been said back then because there wasn't no social media like that, so there wasn't that kind of talk. But I believe we're a softer society. It's a softer society, and they want the quick fix. It wasn't the quick fix back in the day. You had to grind back in the day. There wasn't the free agency. You had to grind. Now it's easy. It's microwave. It's a microwave team. You know what I'm saying? People see somebody throw 5 touchdowns in one game. All of a sudden, he's the next great. You feel me? You see him coming out of college, boss, when they're always saying, oh, he's a generational talent. They need to stop saying that because he's not a generational talent. He's just a pretty good player. You feel me? And it's just easy how these people do it now. So I think that's a part of it is the social media has damaged these type of things, and it's a quick fix society. So I think that's another reason why these people are doing that, but it doesn't make it any better. And I agree with you that so what, these guys are doing it, but it was nice to see. I can't lie.
Yeah,
man. I think that at the end of the day, man, Law brings up an excellent point in that we let soup and food simmer and cook slow. We held on to the philosophy that one day our team would arrive. One day our team would be in the Super Bowl. One day our team would be successful. This is a microwave society, and everybody want it, and they want it right now. Dak Prescott didn't play his best ball in some parts of the season, but he is not the problem with the Dallas Cowboys. And getting another quarterback is not necessarily going to solve anything for the Cowboys. Actually, I think he would take a step back because they have to assimilate to the culture and to how this thing is run. Now, Sean Payton is a fantastic coach. I think that he's a couple levels up from Mike McCarthy because of his ability to create plays and schemes, I think it's a little bit better than Mike McCarthy. I think that his energy, his emotional leadership is really, really important, and that overall this team this year failed because they didn't have emotional leadership. They didn't have go-to guys or a guy to kick everybody in their butt and let them know, hey, it's time to go, it's time to play football, and it's time to win. So at the end of the day, you can hire Bill Belichick, but will you empower the people that you hire to do the job that you hired them to do? That's the question for the Cowboys. It doesn't matter who's in the building. Will we empower them to do the job and give them enough room to succeed or fail that you put in those positions?
There it is. That's why I like you, OC. You be talking that stuff that I be talking right there, because it's just be a bunch of excuses. Like I said, this is what I'm saying. It's flowing off of what I'm saying with the Sean Payton thing. Everybody not everybody. Now everybody want to jump up and do cartwheels about Sean Payton because of how this is forming. Now all of a sudden story come out that they had a deal 2 years ago. Like, oh, you just gonna take off a year? Like, it's all set up for this guy to be a lame duck coach and Mike McCarthy, because you got to get to a championship. And even if you get to a champ, like, you really have to get to a Super Bowl or you a lame duck status with that guy sitting over there right there. So my thing is like this: just like you cut off Mike McCarthy when he first came over, are you gonna, if Sean Payton were to come over here, just like OC said, would you take that little step back? Would you move out the way and say, dog, just run this and make this work? Would you really do that? Or would you still be on here saying these interviews talking about how mad you are about everything, but everything's still the same? I don't want to hear that. So if you take that step back and really let your coach and really do in those front office, like Will McClay, really just let them cook, let your coach cook. If he wants to say, no, this guy is benched and nobody else is saying nothing about it, that's what you need to do, Jerry. That's what you need to let your coach do, because still those big decisions are coming from the top. I think what it is you too old to come down on that field, because if you were still young, you still come down on that field. I really believe you would still come on that field if you was young enough to come down there. You're just too old now, and that's why you ain't coming down there. But your butt will still be down there because you're still making those decisions for players on the field. So if Sean Payton were to come over here, and my last comment, just bounce off the OC once again, if Sean Payton were to come over here, you need to let him say, no, he's not playing. No, he's not doing this. No, he's not doing that. And you don't say nothing. That's when the Dallas Cowboys will finally move forward and being what the Dallas Cowboys are known to be. But until you got that little toe up in there and always making those decisions and don't empower your coaches like you're supposed to, it's going to be a straight circle, and you're going to continue to fool us Dallas Cowboys. Now, you ain't fooling me, but you're going to fool them Dallas Cowboys people out there, and you're going to get their money. You're going to get all that, because I keep on hearing you saying at the end, I wouldn't love nothing but being part of this. Isn't this a great thing? No, it ain't great right now, dog. You saying it's not great right now. It's 26 years of futility, and we are frustrated, and I don't want to hear that noise about it's a great thing right now. No, it's not great. It's 26 years. You got the Detroit Lions, the Washington football team. You got the Bengals who just went there after 33 years. It's not a great thing right now, dog, and you need to step back and see that. 79-year-old GM, step back a little bit, bruh, and watch this team really cook. That's the real truth.
Hey, wait.
Hey, I love being a Cowboy.
Big game changer.
Game changer.
Let's have some fun. Let's have a good time, man. Let's kick it.
Man, this dude is upset.
Dog, I'm tired of it, man. Come on, man. I'm tired of this sugarcoating it. And every time I look on Twitter, I'm just saying how I feel. Every time I watch on Twitter, oh, here's this new coach. Or, oh, let's do this. Or let's do this, Mike. Let's tweak this and let's tweak that. Tweak what? Every time you keep saying, I just said get rid of Jason Garrett. Get rid of Jason Garrett. If you get rid of Garrett, we'll be right back where we're at. No, we're not. We're right back in the same place that we were. Failure. we're falling short once again
Yoga
with a different
fire.
coach who we said get Mike McCarthy because he coached Aaron Rodgers. He got the same record as Sean Payton. And I said that. You remember that article I said, boss? You remember that article I wrote, that video I did, and then they wrote the article, what's the difference between Sean Payton and there ain't none. There might be a little bit of difference. Yeah, he got better offensive schemes, but look at their records. They're the same. So if you come over here, dog, if you come over here and it don't work, man, what you Cowboys fans gonna say then? I ain't trying to make me against y'all. But what y'all gonna say? I'm tired of hearing them excuses from this stuff, man. We keep on wondering why Dallas keep going in circles. I'm tired of seeing these teams who get a quarterback in 1 or 2 years, and then they right back in the thick of things. And meanwhile, Dallas still struggling and going in the same circle, and we gonna keep on saying the same thing over and over and keep on trying to fake ourselves out. Y'all can fake yourselves out. I'm not faking myself out. All right.
Keep going, baby.
Wait, hold on.
Game James. Straight business.
Wait.
That's straight business.
I wasn't ready for this for today.
Hey, man, the OC, he said straight business.
The OC.
There's no emotions, no friends, no loyalty.
Straight business.
Straight business.
Put hashtag straight business in the chat.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, man, straight business. Man, that boy, Big Game James, man, that was everything. That was straight business. That was the game changer. That was, man, laying down the law. That was all of it, big dog.
All of it, man.
Real quick, I did want to say something and get y'all thoughts on this. West Coast still trying to get in. He working on this sound. But check this, man. And that's what my thumbnail was about. He said Peyton News puts fire under Mike McCarthy. That's a simple thing, and I like it. I want to get y'all thoughts on that because that's what my thumbnail, that's why I said Sean Payton available, and that's why I said Competition Tuesday. It's a positive in this because, like, look what competition did to Anthony Brown, right? When we got Boss Man. What did competition do to the safety room? What did competition do to Tank when he saw Micah Parsons? You know what I mean? Will he keep DiNucci knowing that a real coach? You know what I mean? You know, it's some, you know what I'm saying? We got some ooey-ooeys. What's your thoughts on that? I'm going to go through all of y'all. Speak first.
Yeah, man. So look, man, I mean, at the end of the day, I have a question to that question. What does the potential hiring of a Sean Payton do for you if you're Mike McCarthy? And I don't think it does a whole lot. You got a 5-year, $25 million contract. If they fire you, they got to pay you. Dallas got to pay some compensation to New Orleans to acquire Sean Payton if they want to hire him now, right? So either way, you got a lot of money that's going to be spent. You should already be inspired. And so my question is, if you're not inspired already, then you're the wrong guy for the job. That'll be my statement, because when you hear your owner, GM, come out and say, I'm questioning all the coaches, and that besides a handful of guys and Bill Belichick, you know, I've seen a lot of guys come and go in the NFL. Jerry Jones said that on his interview. And so you should be motivated. You should have been motivated when you lost several of these games in the regular season. You should have been motivated long before now. So I guess I don't understand that another coach that's a high-profile coach is gonna get your job. I mean, if you're not motivated at this point, man, if you're not already motivated, you're the wrong guy for the job.
Right on.
Yeah, he right on the money with that. And there's no salary cap as it relates to coaching. Jerry Jones can throw all of the money that he wanted these guys, and then he can do some offers. I think that I heard 105.3 The Fan, they were saying that would you give up a first-round draft pick for Bill Belichick, you know, for crying out loud. And I'm quite sure that if we picking at the 24th or the 25th pick, that ain't nothing to do to give up a first-round draft pick for Bill Belichick, but that neither here nor there. Programs takes time to build, and like you lamented earlier, DOC, we got to slow cook this thing. Now, going into his third year for Mike McCarthy, I get it. First year, 6-10. Second year, 12-5. the biggest indictment on Mike McCarthy first year, he came out in the press and said, hey, I was just lying to kick it. I was just trying to get the job. You know, when somebody lie, it's hard. It's hard to really take their words as it relates to gold, because now everything that you do, they looking at it like, I don't know if he's telling the truth or he's lying again. So now Mike McCarthy is this liar, supposedly. Now the 2021 season, this past season, 12-5. He came out on his ending presser saying that, yeah, you know, I look at the game plan, I see what's going on, but I don't want to intervene. That's Kellen Moore and his strip. But I'm looking at it like this. Dog, if you seeing Kellen Moore, the young offensive coordinator, this is what makes me mad. The kitchen is on fire, and you sitting there like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to let him, you know, figure it out his way. Bull sugar. We went through all of this year, and you couldn't intervene and say, give Tony Pollard the ball. Hey, by the way, can you target Amari Cooper a little bit? Oh, Dak Prescott, why in the world you got your head down looking at the tablet? Somebody sit beside him and go over the play and let him know what we're seeing out of his quarters. I've been here before. He gives the statement after the season is over with, when we packing up our bags and trying to go home, saying, yeah, I've been here before. I got playoff victories. I won a Super Bowl before. God dog, it is too late. It's hard to face back into the tomb now. I want a coach that sit there and say, man, this stuff is boiling over. Let me go over there before the fire catch and stop it. You know, let me turn the eye down. Let me show Kellen Moore, hey, I know this is your third year, but man, look, these people done sacrificed too much. Oh, and then my opening speech, everybody would have been inspired to play. You won't be nervous in my house. No, the 49ers coming to my home. It's time for me to move some stuff out the way and let everybody not look him in the eyes and say, hey, think about training camp, think about Oxnard, think about everything that we done put out and sacrificed for this year. Think about playing for Michael Gallup, who left his play out there on the field. Think about everything. Think about the fans. Think about the people that travel. Let's go win this game for them. Let's go win this game for 26 years of not being there. That should have been the speech, but we didn't get that from Mike McCarthy. So now you talking about bringing in another coach. Man, this dude going to sit back and say, hey, like you said, the OC, I'm getting $25 million regardless. I digress.
Man, Law, you bring up some really compelling points. I'm sorry, Big.
Remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go.
It's time to
Real quick, man, you bring up some super compelling points, and you almost have me concerned. Actually, you're hitting on my concern buttons, Law. You're hitting on my concerns for future failure. And I'll tell you why. Because Mike McCarthy is going to politically cover his butt at the end of the season, but yet he doesn't intervene to help solve the situation when he could have. So to me, it speaks of two things only. You're playing politics so hard to a fault, okay, that you won't do the right thing and intervene to save our season, okay? Number two, you are so afraid of backlash that you would not challenge the status quo and the system to do the right thing so this football team can win and move forward. When you have the knowledge and when you have the experience to do so, that begs of me of potential future failure. And I don't like it. The OC don't like it one bit.
No doubt. No doubt.
Future failure is going to fail. That's what I'm saying. We're taking a step back. Y'all don't want to hear it. That's fine. You can say, shut up, Big Gang. You so negative. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and be the negative guy today. Because guess what? You're taking a step back. All this stuff that's going to hell on, you're a lame duck coach. You know what I'm saying? You're a lame duck coach, bro. You're a lame duck coach. You got to do this. Sean Payton. Sean Payton. All of a sudden, we hearing all this news. Now all of a sudden, I'm going to my owner. I retire. Come on, dog. This is so seenable this is so predictable from Dallas. You know what I'm saying? So predictable. Let's look at this. What was so predictable with Mike McCarthy, right? They did the Rooney rule with Marvin Lewis. You never was hiring him. You was hiring Mike McCarthy. You didn't take no time to look. You went right there. Typical Dallas. Go after her name because guess what? It was bad with Garrett. Okay? And then even with Dan Quinn, you didn't wait. You heard, oh, Dan Quinn, oh, Legion of Boom, he coming over here. That's why they doing the same thing with Sean Payton. So guess what? If Mike McCarthy don't do it, we're going to have to go with another step above because we can't take no other coaches. So they ain't going to take no time. He going to come right over here, dog. So he's set up for failure. Unless you're going to a Super Bowl, dog. Do I really think this team is going to go to a Super Bowl next year and play better than they played this past year with all this crazy stuff? All of a sudden, Mike, you're going to get some nuts. That's what you all of a sudden going to do now? All of a sudden, you're going to start sticking out your chest and start telling people what to do and doing all this stuff. You're going to start doing that next year, dog. That's what you're going to do? I don't believe it. I don't believe you're going to do it. I believe, and here's another thing. Maybe you didn't like Kellen Moore. So maybe you was trying to set him up. Maybe that's why you was sitting back like, oh, that's on Kellen then. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? If you don't like somebody, you step back and be like, oh, that's him. That ain't me. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's all on him. You feel what I'm saying? So maybe them two ain't the greatest. And maybe you said, I didn't want to come over here and you be my offensive coordinator. But the Jerry said, this is what it is. And so that's where the failure started. And that's where the messing up started with the coaches and the owner and the offensive coordinator. That's where it all started. Dallas got lucky because Dallas had a really good, talented team and it overrode the warts. See, that's what happened. Dallas had a really good team and overrode the warts. But see, whenever that real pressure cooker came, then it needed the coaching to jump in, and the players were like falling short. That's why you need coaches, and players can't just go on the field without coaches. That's when y'all supposed to step up and take the next step. But y'all had all that, like Law said, bullshit going on. And guess what? Now we here again. The same old thing. Here again. And I believe we're not going to go, 14 and 6, man, they ain't doing that. They're taking a step back, dog, and it's gonna be set up for Sean Payton to come on over here.
And I'm gonna say one more thing too, because you just unloaded a full clip, Big Game James, a full clip. So listen, this is what I've come to understand and figure out. Yep.
He didn't miss.
Straight up. Here's what I've come to understand about the Dallas Cowboys that I feel like is a huge issue. The Cowboys tend to hire a type versus commit to a result. The Cowboys tend to hire a type versus committing to a result. They have a type of coach that they like. They have a type of vibe that they like, right? They will never hire a dog coach like Eric Bieniemy. They would never, ever hire my guy from Pittsburgh, a real dog type of coach. They have a type, a go along and get along type of guy, and a guy that they can control, and that works against them every time when you get in tough physical football games. And that's my issue. And so on terms of a solution, my thought is this. If Mike McCarthy doesn't work as the coach, if he doesn't, right, and he's trending that way right now, what type of coach would be the Dallas Cowboys type of coach that could get the job done?
We got the big homie in the building. What's your answer to that?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, bro. You in?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up with y'all, man? I appreciate y'all for having me on here, man. It's your boy West Coast for all y'all who don't know, aka Mr. Run the Damn Ball. I'm run the damn ball out. Got my hat on, got my shirt on, man. Hey, I'm just enjoying the content. And run the question back by me one more time, man, because it took me a couple minutes to get up in here, but I'm ready to rock though. But what was the exact question that you was asking me, boss?
It was the OC.
So the question is this, West Coast. Yeah, the question is this, West Coast. If Mike McCarthy does not succeed as a coach, what would be the type of coach? Because I feel like Dallas has a type of coach they like to hire, okay, that fits their culture and their pedigree. What type of coach would fit their type, but that's good enough to get the job done so we can go get 6?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they're looking for more of a guy that they can control, and that's why I don't think that Sean Payton would actually be a good match for the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe Sean Payton 15 years ago, but Sean Payton, who made it very clear that he had the best female owner in football, and then proceeded to give her cookies on his way out the door as she was trying to give him a hug, just really let me know how much control Sean Payton really had in New Orleans. And I'm going to tell you this. When you make a move like that, that's a move that allows you to open the door if you ever want to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you leave with elegance and grace. So if Sean Payton ever wants to come back in the next 3 years, because remember, he is under contract for the next 3 years, that door is definitely open. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, I look at Mike McCarthy, and I know why everybody likes Sean Payton, because Sean Payton is everything that Mike McCarthy is not, right? But I think that's probably going to be the number one reason why he will not be the Dallas Cowboys coach. Because, you know what I'm saying? Because he's exactly what we just said. You know, he's the furthest thing away from Mike McCarthy. And, you know, the Dallas Cowboys, you know, I always say there's two types of owners. There's the type of owner that just kind of comes to the games and hands out checks, and then, you know, hands out checks at the end of the year, and they let the guys do their job. You know what I'm saying? Then you have guys like Jerry Jones that actually come to work, and that's working it, and they, you know, play football and they understand football. And I don't think Sean Payton wants to go from that environment to that environment. That's a totally different environment. And one would have to even to believe, like, would Sean Payton even be Sean Payton in Dallas? Because there's a misconception that Mike McCarthy is not a dog, bro. You got to be somewhat of a dog to be Aaron Rodgers' coach, because that dude's a douche, bro. Like, he's an asshole, bro. He's a douche. So to be able to control that dude for like however long he was able to control him and get a ring with him, I got to know that there is some dog in him. But whoever made the point about him lying when he came into the press conference, that let me know right then that Mike McCarthy was willing to not be himself in order to be the Cowboys coach. I still believe, just like I believe that Jason Garrett could be a good coach, I still believe that Mike McCarthy can be a good coach, but I just don't think that he can be a good coach under these circumstances that they have him right now. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really think anybody can be a good coach under these circumstances, because what the Cowboys want you to really do is they want you to win in their way of winning football. And to be honest with you, in 2021 didn't predicate us winning a Super Bowl the way the Joneses needed. You needed to run the ball, you needed to be consistent, and you need to play solid defense. Well, that's not very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? So the Cowboys, they lean more towards the entertainment value more than they as far as the winning game value. You know what I'm saying? So when I kind of digress a little bit and I say, at the end of the day, I don't think that Sean Payton would be a good fit. And if I'm Sean Payton, you've only coached really as a head coach one place. You don't want Dallas to be your, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't. Dallas does not have a good history of coaches. That's just what it is. And you got to think like this: if you bring in Sean Payton, man, that's 3 different head coaches in damn near 5 years. That looks like a dysfunctional franchise. Like, we can say Sean Payton, we can say whatever we want, so, but when you're looking at it as an organization to change their head coach that many times, that is disorganization. That's dysfusion, and you got to put that back on the ownership. So to be honest with you, I believe that if you got Bill Belichick in here, Bill Belichick, if he wanted to be in the good graces, because at the end of the day, Bill Belichick's check at the very top is still going to say Dallas Cowboys. That check is still getting written by Jerry. If he wants to continue to get that check, you're going to do what Jerry requires you to do.
Well, let me intervene for a quick second, West Coast. Now, I believe I talked to you before, and you said that you was a manager over a retail store. Is that correct?
Oh shoot, man! That was back in 2017. I've been fully monetized. I've been fully monetized for the last 5 years. So yeah. Right. But go ahead.
So I'm just using this as an analogy. And you as a manager and the people that you work over Sometimes it's hard to tell the supervisors what to do because they get their check. It's hard to tell somebody that make $40,000 to $50,000 what to do, right? Follow me when I say this.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't like that.
It's hard to tell the people.
Hey, hold on, West Coast. Hold on. I want him to finish.
Hold on. No, hold on. It's hard to tell people what to do. Sometimes their egos get in the way. Jerry Jones is not even a millionaire. He's a multi-billionaire. And one thing that I do know from billionaires, from what I've read, you can't tell them what to do. They look at it and say, hey, this is me. Ego, edging God out. I bet on myself. And I listened to an interview. It was 30 years ago.
Exactly.
They was interviewing Coach Jimmy Johnson. And in that interview, Jerry Jones, they got into it a little bit. And he literally said, look, Jimmy, I can get 500 other coaches to win the Super Bowl for the Cowboys. Literally, he said it out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and then when you really contextualize everything, by his success of Barry Switzer winning the Super Bowl, it solidified what he thought. But people had to tell him, nah, dog, that wasn't you. That was still Jimmy Johnson. Because if you think about it, collectively speaking, everybody that's listening, Barry Switzer only had one losing season with the Cowboys.
Right.
Let me yell out his record. His first year, 12-4. We didn't win the Super Bowl, by the way. You know, it was terrible. That was a horrible year. People was ready to get rid of him then because of everything changed. His second year, Barry Switzer went 12-4. We won the Super Bowl, but we won the Super Bowl in spite of his coaching. Think about it. The team was so good that they only lost 4 games that year. On top of that, the following year after that, they went 10-6. People were saying, nah, you got to get rid of Barry Switzer. He's stupid. He's dumb. We are losing our identity as the Cowboys. And then his last and final year in 1997, he went 6-10. He only had one losing season. But I come here to tell you the influence of Jimmy still was in that locker room, but it was fading away. Nobody can tell Jerry Jones
this is what I was. This is what I say, boss.
Wes, hold on real quick.
3, 2, 1, drop it. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go.
It's time to
Real quick, because I did want to throw something back at everybody. Real quick, I want to throw something, and then I want to hear what you was going to say, Wes. I want to throw something at everybody because I see a potential of at least Jerry trying now, because we did lack the emotional. That's the only thing we really lacked was, in my opinion, was obviously Kellen Moore, but then a coach that can have you play hard. We do know this about the Saints. They do play inspired football. And with Jerry losing the way that we lost, I can see him, even from a marketing standpoint, wanting to do a deal like this to install hope. And I'm gonna turn it back over to everybody. I'm gonna stop talking. And because if you lose Quinn, you not only gonna lose him, you're gonna lose him and all those good defenses. And then you're gonna be kind of left with a guy do you even really trust as a play caller in Kellen Moore? So if you do bring in Sean Payton, I'm not even know if it's possible or not contractually, we just hypothetically speaking. But to bring him in even next year, that still signals, it says that it's a reason to believe, even though he likely wouldn't fit in terms of his moxie attitude, but he also might also have a relationship with Jerry and know how to work him. So I just want to throw that out to everybody and go around a circle with that.
Can I say something real quick?
Let me go with Big.
Go
Big,
ahead.
we got you. We got you.
I mean, you know Jerry's gonna do that, dog. I mean, like I said, man, the dude is sitting out for a year. He just retired. He just said, "I'm retiring." You know, everybody's talking about, oh, well, Sean Payton coming, Sean Payton coming. Now all of a sudden, you just happen to retire. I'm gonna sit out for a whole year. I'm just going to evaluate. Oh, what you going to evaluate, Sean? You going to evaluate to see if Mike McCarthy chokes so you can go on over there to Jimmy? Yeah. That's what it is. That's the only other guy that's going to come here. There's nobody else that Jerry's going to take because he needs a bigger name than Mike McCarthy. That's why he took Mike McCarthy, because he was a name. That's why he took him. Did you listen to Jerry in his interview? He said, I want somebody who in the foxhole. I want somebody who has skins on the wall, meaning a big name. So who do you think Jerry's going to take if he ain't here no more? He ain't going to take no name dude, and he's 80 years old. Think he gonna take a college coach or somebody like that and he 80? No, he ain't. He ain't gonna take no time. He getting Sean Payton. Sean Payton coming here. It ain't gonna be nobody else.
Hey.
Go ahead, Wes.
No, you go OC because then it's gonna go to West. We gonna go in the full circle.
That's cool, man. I mean, look, man, here's the deal, man. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to repeat. If I said it once, I'll say it a million times. It doesn't matter what coach you bring in here. I mean, if you pay him off for his manhood, then you're not going to win. Okay? If you pay him off for his manhood, you ain't going to win. So if you allow him to come in and do what he can do as a coach and to have the constructive nature of what he needs to do in terms of decision making, it will optimize, right, what you can do as an organization in terms of winning. But hiring Sean Payton, because I think that the Cowboys are all about money. Let me give you guys some inside scoop, all right? Y'all want this? I'm going to give you some inside scoop. I was talking, let me be real careful I say this, to someone who does business with the Jones family in one of their organizations. All right. This was 3 days ago. All right. And this is what they told me. They said, hey, listen, between me and you, Jerry don't care about winning Super Bowls anymore. Jerry cares about the marketing and the reputation of the Dallas Cowboys.
Don't say that.
He counts his. Listen, I'm telling you what was told me in a private conversation, not disclosing anybody. All right. And offline, I'll tell you exactly, but I can't do that publicly. So here's the deal: I want to market and keep. I want to keep the Dallas Cowboys in the center of everyone's mind, whether it's good or bad press, and that he counts success by the money that he actually has acquired. So I think that Sean Payton would just resign to be a token because he outpaid him and he gave him, not 25 million. Oh no, he's going to give him 40 or 50 million. But then I'm going to have my hand up your back and I'm going to make sure when I tell you to step left, you step left. When I say step right, you step right, and you do whatever I want you to do. And that's not going to be the winning formula. That's what I think.
Hey, Tyson, before you say anything, before you come up
OC.
Pause.
No emotions, no friends, no loyalty.
Yeah, my bad, bro. I had to hit that button, bro. That was straight business.
Put hashtag straight business in the chat.
Man.
Ooh, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. It didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt me. Thank you so much for that, OC. I appreciate you. But you ain't saying, you just confirming what me and Boss was talking about. Remember when we had that show with BJ Nix on here? Do you remember that show, Boss? What were we talking about? Me and you both said, is winning number one in Dallas. We said money is number one in Dallas. Right. Yeah. We said money was number one in Dallas and the relevancy of ego and the relevancy of the Cowboys, but we both said winning was not number one. No, we got fought on third. We got, remember, Boss? Remember, Boss, we got fought on when we kept on saying winning ain't number one here. It's money here. And now I hear OC say that. It just confirming what I already felt. See, y'all be falling for that. Oh, I ain't never seen Jerry so mad in no interview like that. I ain't never seen him that mad in no 15 years. Boy, that man was still, man. What? Y'all fell for that? Oh. He's a Libra. Let me say one last thing. He's a Libra. I'm a Libra. I know that mouth game is real good. He know how to bring y'all in, and that's why he's so good. He know how to bring y'all in. He watched that damage control. He seen it was everybody was going off and going bad. So what's Jerry supposed to do? What does Jerry do? Come on here. This is the maddest I've ever been. I'm so disappointed. Let me tell you about Ben Franklin. Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about man, dude, be quiet. Just be quiet. You want to tell all these stories and throw us off. See, you tell these long stories to try to throw us off, but I'm all on you, I'm all on you, dog. And I appreciate OC saying all that and telling the truth, because you ain't fooling nobody. You just want that money, and as long as the Cowboys is relevant, that's all that what matters. Winning ain't number one in Dallas, and it goes to show. Thank you for saying that, because it's the truth. Hey, I love being a Cowboy.
Big Game James.
Game changer.
Let's have some fun. Let's have a good time, man. Let's kick it.
Hey, that Ben Franklin conversation got me, because this is what really hit me. On the late night hype, we had Lucky Whitehead on the show, right? And he was saying that they were practicing you know what all. And all of a sudden they heard a big old noise. It's like a hurricane coming. And it was Jerry Jones coming down on his helipad. And everybody had to literally stop practice. And he said that they was installing a certain play. And they had to stop practice for at least 25 minutes or so that they could stop the propellers and everything. And Jerry Jones and his son, John Stephen Jones, get out of the helicopter. And they went back to that moment. Are they really focusing on trying to win the game when everything is paused? Now, I get it. When you're a multi-billionaire, you want to stunt, you want to show off on people and say, hey, I made it from Arlington, Texas to Frisco with less than 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Flying the helipad. You know, that's good. But it should be about winning the game. It should be like, hey, my players are practicing right now. Whatever I'm coming from, I'm just going to sit back and wait and let practice go through, because that practice, you can win more games at practice than you do actually on the field, believe it or not. But Jerry Wayne Jones and things don't look at it that way. And I'm glad you mentioned that, the OC, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Boss Cowboy, and I'm glad you mentioned that, West Coast, and as well, Big Game James, because now we see the picture. But man, I'm gonna still root for this team, because I was a fan of this team before Jerry Jones bought the team.
Exactly, and that's why.
Technically, this is the thing. He bought the team financially. I was already bought in it emotionally. I can't get it financially, but he bought it. Think about this. This wasn't the only team that he wanted to purchase. He wanted to purchase the San Diego Chargers at the time. You know, so granted, shout out to Jerry Jones for what all he did for the organization. Like my brother said, we do got 3 rings out of Jerry Jones, but it could have been more. It could have been more if he sat back and just didn't muddy the waters and let Jimmy Johnson do his thing.
Big dog.
West Coast Cowboy. Never
What's
look
up,
down
man?
because the stones are up.
Yeah, man, get in, dog. My boy
Who said that?
Yeah, man.
Never look down because the stones are up.
Yeah, man.
Who did that one?
I got you, man. I got never look down because the stones
Never
are
look
up.
down because the stones are up.
Hey, no, that was me, bro. That I told you I've been taking voice lessons. All right.
Nah.
What's your thing? Yeah, go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead, Wes.
My first question is, no matter who the coach is, who's calling plays. You know what I mean? It don't really matter who the last 3 coaches, the last head coach we had, the coach we got currently right now, Mike McCarthy don't call plays. Jason Garrett, he hadn't called plays since 2013. So I think, we can. One thing about culture is this, man. Culture is culture, but if you're winning, you can outlast a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's been a bunch of, I've been on a bunch of thug teams that have beat up on a bunch of good kids from Catholic schools. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it was. You know what I'm saying? We were the better team. And so you can get past some coaching if you have superior coaching. You have superior athletes, but it has to be matched with that offensive coordinator. That offensive coordinator has to be on his job. So, this is an example of that too, because it's like, when we measure success of a coach, we got to remeasure the successes. Like, what is Jerry Jones really asking these coaches to do? Because you got to remember when Phil Jackson was the head coach of the Bulls, he was actually coaching. You actually seen him on the sidelines. He's actually instruction, putting PJ Armstrong. You had to coach Michael Jordan. He said that in the documentary, but you had to coach everybody else. He was actually coaching. But then he also said that when he went to Los Angeles, his coaching was different. It wasn't really about coaching plays in LA. It was more about coaching personalities. And actually, because remember, Kobe and Shaq, they was already beefing and having issues. You know what I'm saying? So he said he wasn't really a facilitator of plays when he was in LA because that's not what they were asking of him. You know, I think when it comes down to these coaches, whoever's going to be the coach, the head coach of the Cowboys, it really comes down to ask, what are you going to be asking these guys to be doing? Are you going to be – I don't think they really asked Mike McCarthy to have – like, I don't think we can really blame any of the offense or the defense success or failure on Mike McCarthy because I know for a fact he didn't have no choice in it because you got to think we fired 16 coaches on the offense. We had 16 coaches that were on staff on offense. We fired 15 of them. The only one that made it was Kellen Moore. Mike McCarthy didn't have no choice of Kellen Moore. So it's like if you bring in whatever head coach you bring in here, if he's not calling plays, it's going to be hard for me to really hold him responsible for what's going on in the offense. You know what I'm saying? Because culture and all that other stuff, you know, everybody is assumed to have good culture if they winning. That's just what it is. But who's to say that they not slapping each other out and knocking each other out in the locker room? You know what I'm saying? But that's where it is. So those are my biggest questions, you know, when it comes to the coach. You know, is this coach gonna be someone that is going to come in here and are they going to be able to be themselves? If they're not going to be able to be themselves, then, man, just keep what you got and keep the devil you got. You feel me? I'm going to keep it real with you. Like, I would rather just keep the devil I have than to learn a whole nother devil. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's real.
So
yeah. West Coast, let me piggyback off of this, what you said, man. You said he fired 15 coaches and only kept one on the offensive side, right? And that was Kellen Moore. He fired two on the offensive side too many. He should have kept Colombo and John Kitna. He should have kept those two. If he had all those three, it would have been a different situation.
Yeah. And he should have kept the running back coach.
Yeah, Brown.
The running back coach got cancer or something like that.
Yeah, he got cancer. Yeah, he did.
He got cancer, you know.
But he still should have kept him. Like, we wouldn't have known.
Yeah, because he went and coached another year after that. 2020. Yeah.
Okay.
But he got cancer. Man, that's crazy. I didn't know that, man. That's crazy.
I want to flip something on y'all. I'm gonna flip the whole topic because I know West Coast, he got a different answer. I'm gonna start with you, Wes, because we talked about this on the phone. Everybody go think different on this, but I want to go around the circle with everybody. What's your top free agents that you must have in order? Your top three. Start with you, Wes.
Dalton Schultz, J-Ron Curse, Randy Gregory.
Why?
Dalton Schultz, because he led your team in freaking almost everything except for first down. I mean, he was your first down leaders. He's your second most target. He's as far as like playing in production, he played almost 90% of the snaps. Like, it's ridiculous. And the thing about Dalton Schultz is Dalton Schultz, a 4th round pick, a guy that you asked to step up in the absence of Blake Jarwin, who, when he came back, was not himself, and he still did that. So it's like, Blake, you know, Dalton Schultz, as far as this offense is already diminishing. I don't need to willingly be taking pieces off this offense. You know what I'm saying? Especially the ones that are actually decent. Like, I think that Schultz, I think if your biggest knack on a tight end is that he doesn't block well, I think you're in a good sphere. You know what I'm saying? Because most tight ends that block really, really well, they can't catch for a damn. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, and i.e. Jeremy Sprinkle. I love Jeremy Sprinkle. I want him to do everything good. You know what I'm saying? I just love a big old dude running down the field. But the boy can't catch like Dalton Schultz. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, if you can get someone else who can help with the blocking, I think you transfer that money that you got with Blake Jarwin onto Dalton Schultz. I believe he'll take that $8 million and he'll run with it. My second guy that I said, J-Ron Curse. The reason why I say J-Ron Curse is because that dude plays safety and he played linebacker for you. You know, when I go to the games, man, I sit in the Miller Lite zone, so I'm sitting right behind it there. And I'm going to tell you this right now, the vocal person who is keeping these guys in line and who is the Dan Quinn on that sideline, because you guys got to remember, Dan Quinn is not on the sidelines. He's in the booth. So the person that's the Dan Quinn on the sidelines that's translating all that stuff is J-Ron Curse. And my thing is this. If you are the Dallas Cowboys and there's a really good chance that you're going to lose Dan Quinn, You need to keep as much Dan Quinn-ish stuff in your building. Why? Because the easiest thing for us to do in 2022 is to be as close to Dan Quinn defense as we can. That's why I support the hiring of George Edwards. And that's why I think that a guy like J-Ron Kurtz, a guy who played linebacker for you and safety, had the green dot on you. Because you got to remember, if you get rid of J-Ron Kurtz, now you got to give that green dot to probably Micah. I don't want Micah to have a green dot. Why? Because I don't want Micah to have to worry about what everybody else. I want Micah worrying about one person, and that's the damn quarterback. I hope to God in 2022 the Dallas Cowboys let Micah chase the NFL sack record. Because with our team, if we got 22 sacks on a dude, bro, I don't give a damn what nobody else is doing. If Micah got 10 more, I don't care what everybody else can suck. Bro, we'll make up for it with 22 sacks. You know what I'm saying? Especially what we can do. So Thanks. I would like the Cowboys to do that.
What's your third person?
Yeah. My third guy is Randy Gregory. The reason why it's Randy Gregory is because, listen, bro, Robert Quinn had 11 sacks, and you let him walk. You got him for a 6th-round pick, and you let him walk. That man went and got $11.5 million up there in Chicago. I don't see how the Dallas Cowboys, and honestly, as much as I like Randy Gregory personally, because, that's my little brother's old roommate in college, but I will say this. He doesn't fit the criteria to get signed by the Dallas Cowboys. He did not play no full season. He has not played a full season, and and listen to me, the Cowboys don't mind you having issues when you cheat, but when you start costing them money, oh, bro, you got to play every game, and ain't no smoking weed, ain't none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, to be honest with you, every day. You know it, baby. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, Randy Gregory, in my opinion, I don't see how the Cowboys, because I don't see how they give him money. You can always slide Randy Gregory. My fourth guy is the punter, and my fifth guy.
Man, we say 5. We say 5, big dog. No, we did not.
I only got 4. I don't know 5 right now.
That's my dog. My boy West Coast say and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7.
Listen, 5. I haven't got 5.
No, we not doing 5. No, we not got 5. Big.
I only got 4 right now.
You only got 4 tops? Yeah.
I only got 4 that I'm going to actually pick up the phone and say, yo, I want you to come back. All the rest of them dudes, I'll holler at y'all in a couple months. If y'all still out there, I'll pick y'all up. So I'll holler at you. But it's only 4 dudes that I'm like, I want you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I hope you want me back.
Who your 3, Big?
I'm gonna put Randy Gregory in there up at the top. The main reason why is because you don't have no defensive ends. You got Dorrance Armstrong Jr. I think he's going to get some money somewhere else. I just feel like he is. You don't have no defensive ends on your roster. You have Tank. You have Randy Gregory. If Dorrance Armstrong Jr. leaves, you have Chauncey Golston. Who else are your other defensive ends? You ain't got none. And Basham. I mentioned Golston. I'm missing Golston. I already mentioned him. And you have Basham.
Golston run like a 5'9", 40.
I'm saying though, you feel me? He played good, but he didn't have no. He played good, but he ain't got no pass rush moves, and we saw that all daggone year. So he still got to get better. So the whole point is, you ain't got no defensive ends on the roster. So that's why I'm going with Randy Gregory being my top guy, and you better draft somebody too, because you don't got no defensive ends on that roster. And because Tank is going to be another year older. My second guy is going.
How much you paying him?
That's going to be a problem because
and you can't franchise tag him.
Yeah, I'm not going to go crazy with it.
He's going to be about $13 million.
You think Jerry's going to give him $13 million?
No, I didn't say I think he go. No, I didn't say that. Man, you messing up the game, West Coast. You messing up the game, big dog.
Right. Let me get my other 2 out, and so everybody can get theirs. All right. So my other 2 is I said, who did I say? Randy first. My second guy. Ooh, that's kind of tough. I'm gonna say I'm hedging because everybody was talking curse, but now I'm not talking curse so much because of Dan Quinn. Because I don't know if J-Ron Curse can go there and turn up like he did like he did in Dallas without a Dan Quinn. I seen his Minnesota film and he was a backup. He had better film with Detroit than Minnesota. No, I already seen it. You don't gotta tell me. But anyway, what I'm saying is Curse. I'm kind of hedging with him because I hope he don't try to outprice himself because Steven ain't gonna pay you, bro. Steven is not gonna pay you that money. So I'm gonna put him at second because he's an emotional leader. He does have the skills. He can play multiple positions, and that's why I would go with Curse. My third guy would be I like Malik Hooker. I want to get Malik Hooker back in the building.
Man,
I'm still in my
this is
content,
different, bro. I like this.
I
like this. See, everybody thinking different. I like it though.
I'm not trying to. I like it. I didn't mean to, but I didn't mean to, Law. My bad. But I'm just saying, if we're looking at the safety position, right? They've been clamoring for somebody like a Malik Hooker. He has the size, he has the speed, he has everything that you really want. And the main thing that everybody want to see is, can he stay healthy? He stayed healthy the whole year. You started seeing him coming on at the end of the year. He's still young. He's not old. I would definitely offer him a deal and bring him back in the fold because I definitely feel like he'll help the safeties. And you can still draft one, but I would feel comfortable with him being in the fold. So I definitely would bring back Malik Hooker as well.
All right, I'm gonna let y'all fight that out too. Listen, Wes.
How you gonna take Malik Hooker over J.
No, hold on.
Come on,
wait,
now,
you wait here, Wes.
I didn't say I was taking him.
Hold on, real quick.
I said I didn't say I was taking him.
I smelled that fight coming. I smelled the fight. Listen to me.
Round one.
I'm gonna let you and Big fight that
J.Y.
out. But we gonna finish this game,
I don't want to hear all
brother.
that noise.
We gonna finish this game. That's what we gonna do up in here. Let the church say, "Hey man, we gonna finish this game, and then we gonna let Gilligan get around the island straight up." All right, so we got the OC. Who you three, big dog?
So my number one is going to be J-Ron Curse. I feel like he's the temperature setter, the vocal leader, the emotional leader, and he has position flex. He's a hybrid. He can play safety or linebacker. He played great. Pay that man. He earned his money. All right. So that's number one in my book. Number two in my book is not going to be a popular choice, but I'm going to go ahead and just say it.
LBE.
Cedric Wilson. Cedric Wilson is a guy that you want to resign. I want you to resign Cedric Wilson because, unfortunately, Michael Gallup had a torn ACL, and I was a fan of him early in the season, and, y'all hated on me on the show, so I'm definitely going to put it in your face. So here's the deal. He showed up. He played big. He made plays. He showed there was no drop-off between him and Michael Gallup. He worked underneath very, very well. He was a pretty good route runner and had a really good connection with Dak Prescott. I feel like that Michael Gallup's time is up. He has the ACL. This is straight business. I'm not bringing him back. I love Michael Gallup. He's one of my favorite receivers, but because it's straight business, he tore the ACL. I'm not bringing him back. I'm making sure that I re-sign and I talk to Cedric Wilson's agent. All right, number three is going to be a shocker for you guys. I know most of you guys think that, hey, we no emotions, no friends, no loyalty.
Straight business.
Straight business.
Put hashtag straight business in the chat. All right, and so my last one, guys, my last one is not going to be Randy Gregory, okay? I feel like he's too expensive. I feel like that he's not going to settle for making less than $14 to $15 million a year, and I feel like that his margin is high, and you're not going to franchise tag him because that's dumb, because you'd have to pay him almost $20 million, so that's dumb. You're not going to franchise tag him, so I feel like that he's an underperforming guy. He has great upside, and he's still that guy that has great upside, and his upside has never materialized in terms of the season. So I want you to keep Brian Anger. I want you to keep the punter because this is a field position game. I want you to re-sign the punter. And I feel like in the draft, because you picked 24, there'll be a couple great guys available. And I'm going to get a little bit into my draft content and I'm going to shut up. You got Jermaine Johnson out of FSU. All right. And so you got also you have David Ojabu out of Michigan, and I feel like around 24, those are first round, second round type guys. I like Jermaine Johnson more. He's a twitchy 4'6", 40 type dude, and he got 12 sacks at FSU, and I think he's a guy that can give you some speed and explosiveness off the edge. I feel like there's other ways to solve that defensive end problem versus overpay for Gregory. I'm not a fan of overpaying for Gregory, so he's not my third one.
So you drafting a defensive end, your first round pick then?
Our offensive tackle. Our offensive tackle.
Oh, okay. I'm going O-line for
our
you.
Wait, did Law go? Law, did you go?
I didn't go yet.
Law, you see how these wolves ready to just eat up all the content, dog?
I got quiet.
I'm gonna let y'all fight. I promise you. I ain't forgot. I got all the fights ready. I can't wait to hear this fight because that's the next thing we do. I'm fighting everybody up in here. Everybody listens wrong. Everybody listens trash. Even my partner West Coast. Everybody listens garbage. I'm fighting everybody.
Okay.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want me to go, boss?
Oh, I can go, dog. I can go.
Well, I'm just gonna say this, man. There's waves of free agency. There's the free agency before the draft, and then there's a free agency after the draft. I look at it like this: don't. Just like trading stocks, you got two options, man. You can go long or go short, and those are the strategies there. And either you can buy, sell, or stay put. So most of these guys on this list, I will just lean on the aspect of, please let me get to the draft first and see what I got, and then I can pick out on this list. So before the draft, I have to look into this thing and say, all right, J-Ron Curse, yes, it's contingent upon whether or not you have still Dan Quinn. It won't mean nothing if you keep J-Ron Curse and Dan Quinn is gone, right? Unless you get Joe Witt Jr. to stay here, or George Edwards be the defensive coordinator. Those would be the situations whether or not you keep J-Ron Curse. All right, so and another thing is, we've been complaining about safeties for a long time, not a short time. And DeMonte KZ and Malik Hooker, those boys been holding it down, although we need better play from them. I would lean on Malik Hooker over DeMonte KZ. So I'm looking at it like this: Randy Gregory, J-Rock, as well as Malik Hooker. Now those would be my three. Now I love I ain't gonna go with, like you said, West Coast 4 guys or what have you. I love Cedric Wilson, but I'm gonna have to wait and see if he can survive after the draft. That's just how it goes. I need to go get these guys from the draft, but I'm gonna wait until see after the draft. But those will be my first three, all on the defensive side.
My number one is Curse. That's my number one.
Of course.
And what you mean, of course, man? What you talking about, big dog? What you talking about, big dog?
Of course.
So wait a minute. So hold on. I can't even get a word out.
No, go ahead.
I can't.
It's a big thing for Boss Cowboy to actually say publicly that he drunk Kool-Aid. Listen, I do not drink Kool-Aid without first measuring.
Can I measure my own Kool-Aid up in this?
Measure your Kool-Aid.
My bad. Measure it all. My bad.
Y'all done ran off the homie West Coast.
And this free agency after the draft.
Y'all done ran the homie off. All right, my number one is Curse. All right, cool. All right, so number one, Curse, because of the leadership.
Right.
And what West Coast talked about with his leadership. My number two is Schultz. But I don't think he gonna stay. I think he gonna command a good price. I think he's gone. I think good tight ends are rare, and he's gonna cost too much. He go get away, and I think we go try to flip him cheaper. My third free agent would be Randy Gregory because of what Big Z. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. I'm flipping them too. My bad. I'm putting Randy Gregory 2, and I'm putting Schultz 3. Straight
You're
up.
not gonna keep Schultz. He's too expensive.
Schultz ain't coming. Schultz ain't
That's what
coming
I'm
back.
saying. And then I feel what Big said. We don't got no defensive ends, so that's my 3. Now let's get this fight on. I want to see this fight real quick. We got West Coast, his list versus Big Game James. Now y'all touch gloves. We gonna keep this orderly, and we gonna have a tournament style. No votes or nothing. I just want to let's just box up ideas real quick, because I promise y'all, my idea is
why
on
none
the
of y'all
top.
keeping Connor Williams, man? None of y'all keeping Connor Williams.
Ain't nobody keeping. You know why I'm saying Connor Williams? You know why? You know why ain't nobody saying Connor Williams? Because Connor Williams, I said himself on his Instagram. Bye. He said on himself on his Instagram. Bye. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it. And guess what? Guess how many Cowboys players liked it? One, Jordan Lewis. So that tell you. Bye. They don't want you back.
Wait, come on. He said what?
He came out. You know how he came out on his Instagram. You know how they always like, hey, let's thank you for everything, Cowboys, fans and organization. Dog, it didn't sound nothing like that. He was thanking everybody, but it was like, I appreciate the ride, like kind of like, see ya, I'm out here, I'm doing my own thing. And like I said, only one Cowboy at the time, it was posted like 8 hours at the time, and only one Cowboy, Jordan Lewis, liked it. That's it. And I'm like, because them Cowboys, they stick together. They be liking each other's Instagram and all that. One. That's why they said
bye with the groceries. Hey man, you like my Instagram post? Yeah, man. Let me move this groceries.
All right, but let's jump in here though. I mean, we talking about this curse thing. I mean, we talking about it. I seen the Minnesota tape. I seen him as a backup in Minnesota. His best work was at Detroit, and he still wasn't great in coverage. Even this year, he wasn't great in coverage. He was good. He wasn't great. The thing that I liked about him was his leadership. He could play two different positions, but I'm not overpaying him. He wasn't turning up everywhere else, and I don't know if he goes somewhere else, he gonna turn up without Dan Quinn.
Wait a minute, I gotta jump in here, dog. I gotta jump in here, dog. And you don't want me, bro. You don't want me, dog. But I can't let you do this big.
Okay. So why didn't Detroit keep him?
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. You can ask my baby mama why you can ask my baby mama them same questions, and she'll give you all types of questions, the answers that won't line up with me. Why she left me and why they left them is two different questions.
Okay,
you know
well,
I don't know.
Okay, well, answer that question.
Okay, well, hold up. I do know this. We are only going to measure these players off of the contract that they were in. He was on a 1-year deal with the Dallas Cowboys. So that means the Dallas Cowboys said that you have 2021 to show us if you could earn a potential contract going forward. Now, Dan Quinn could have been a total failure. That has no bearing on Jaron Kearse. He still has to have his contract.
Yeah, it does.
You cannot discredit him for that.
Wes, hold on for 1 second, just 1 second. So that I can keep order with both of you boys, I'm gonna put a time on you. You got a minute, go.
All I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. You know what? If Dan Quinn is leaving and it's prepared for Dan Quinn to leave, we need to keep as much Dan Quinn-esque stuff in our locker room, because in this 9 months, 7 months window, we have too many free agents and too many moving parts on defense. Are there better people out there in the world? Yes, there always are better people out in the world. That's why shops open up every day. But we need to find out what is best for us to keep ourselves where we are right now. If you take Jaron Kearse off this team, your defense does take a step back. Now, we can hope and pray that somebody's going to do something and we're going to draft, but let's just be real. The last time the Cowboys drafted a safety early was my uncle, Roy Williams. And he reminds me all the time, every time I talk to him. You know what I'm saying? They not drafting. We could have gotten safeties in the second round. So I cannot put any hope in the Cowboys to think that they're going to use a luxury
Time
pick
out.
on-
Time out.
I'm gonna play the horn.
Yeah, get the horn.
We ready?
Yeah,
we ready?
I'm the horn guy. I'm the horn guy.
Hold on, let me get the time on. Let me get the time.
Hit that horn.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Law got the horn. You ready? Go.
I'm ready. Where the horn?
It's on, I think.
Okay. All right. So here's my thing. I don't hate on Kearse. I like to keep him here. But once again, I'm not overspending for a Jaron Kearse, and neither will Stephen Jones, and y'all know that. So he may have had that great year, but what do you think you're gonna pay him? What if he wants like $8 or $9 million? You're gonna pay that to Jaron Kearse after that 1 year? And he's never. I'm just. Hey,
you know what?
He gonna want some money. I'm talking. Let me
$8
get my minute. You can jump in after this. I'm gonna get my minute now.
That
if he wants some money, because I know he's gonna want some money. He ain't gonna want to come cheap after what he did. He's gonna want some bread. So you think Stephen Jones is gonna jump out there and oversign him when Stephen Jones don't do that? Stephen Jones ain't going to do that. So all I'm saying is I want to keep him in the building, but please, I hope he doesn't just go crazy and say, well, this is what I did, because you may not do that somewhere else because I didn't see you do it nowhere else. I seen you do a little bit at Detroit. You had a pretty good year, but they didn't re-sign you. Why not? You was a starter over there. They didn't re-sign you. You had Dan Quinn. I don't know if you do that somewhere else without him.
We got the West Coast.
This is what I will tell you. That is the case for every single person on this team, so I cannot hold that against him. Now, I will say this. Jaron Kearse, when you asked him to perform a duty, he did that. You then put more duties on him. Also, let's remember, Jaron Kearse played more games and more snaps than Malik Hooker. So it's hard for me to fathom that somebody would want a Malik Hooker over a Jaron Kearse. That doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? What makes sense is you started a guy from preseason.
How much you paying him? How much you paying him?
Order in the court, James. Order in the court.
How much you paying him? You doing all this other talking. Tell me how much you paying him.
Wait. I gotta stop the clock. I gotta stop the clock.
I'm willing to pay Jaron
real quick. Wes, hold on. Wes, I'm gonna give you some more time because he interrupted you. I'm gonna give you 41 seconds. I'm gonna throw a flag on the damn play for my dog, Big. You got a flag, big dog. You cutting cats off. You cutting cats off. You gonna take a flag?
I'll take the flag.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, Big Game James.
Hey, man, let's give West Coast the floor. He got his 41 seconds.
West Coast been awarded
everybody
15 more seconds.
His case. I want the whole case, and then I'm gonna make my case, and we go get the final word. Or whatever.
All right, this is what I'm willing to pay him. Jaron Kearse is not a top. I don't believe that he is a top 10 safety in NFL. And one thing I know about Jaron Kearse is players know what they are. So Jaron Kearse is not going to outprice himself. Because you got to remember, whatever he quotes the Cowboys, he's technically quoting the entire free agent market because he's a free agent. So he's not just going to be out quoting himself. He's going to out quote himself for every team. So I don't think that he's going to put himself in a position. Hold on. I don't think he's going to put himself in a position where he's asking so much. Now, this is what I'm willing to pay. I believe that Jaron Kearse this year played better than Adrian Amos. I believe he played better than Jaquan.
Time out. We keep order up. Okay, I got the answer to how much.
I don't want to hear nothing else.
Hey,
I want to hear how much.
He gonna cost around $5 million, bro. He gonna cost less than $5 million. Time up.
I'm willing to give up.
Listen.
The highest paid player safety right now is Quadre Diggs. Right now, the average salary is 6.2.
Hey, I got the clock. I got the floor. I got a minute to explain this.
Brad, the highest paid safety in NFL right now is not
Harris. Let me ask a question. It's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question. Keep order in this court so everybody can hear this.
Strong safety.
Who was starting in Minnesota, Harris or Kearse?
No, Adams is a strong safety.
Who was starting? Harris,
man. You know
or
Harris,
Kearse?
man. Harrison Smith. You talking about Harrison? Yeah.
Yes.
Harrison
Smith, right?
Yeah.
So, what happened when he went to Philly?
Oh, you talking about the other kid?
Yeah, he signed for $5 million. The safety market is undervalued.
Anthony Harris is the dog, though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He went for $5 million. Stole him. Kearse is not gonna break the bank. That's what I'm getting ready. I'm getting everybody ready for. He's not gonna break the bank. I'm done. I'm complete. I'm done. It didn't even take me a minute. We gonna play him $4 to $5 million. I'm done. I kept my minute.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real.
That's reasonable.
Hey.
Keanu Neal's making $4 million.
Xavier Woods a curse. Right now. Who had a better season?
Good question.
Xavier Woods had a good season.
Yes, see, Law, you get messy. That's a good messy, though. I like that. That's a good messy.
Yeah, but how many times did Xavier Woods play freaking linebacker too, though? Like this is the thing that people got to understand. You actually listen to me. This is another reason why I think J-Ron Curse is going to get rewarded. You want to know why? Because the Dallas Cowboys did not handle the whole linebacker situation right. I'm not even going to bring up his name because y'all go all not y'all, but fans go all crazy whenever I bring up his name because of my relationship with him. So I'm not even going to bring up his name, but they didn't handle that situation right? They asked J-Ron Curse to play a totally different position, then gave him the green dot, and he excelled in that. The Cowboys are going to bless him. The Cowboys they're going to keep him. Watch.
Okay.
They ain't going to overpay him. I know that.
All right.
But see, this is the thing. What is the thing?
Hold on. I need to know first, West Coast.
What you just said? What's overpaying? What you said? $8 million a year? That's overpaying, bro.
No, that's not. $8 million.
$8 million a year.
Big first.
That ain't happening. You know daggone well they ain't paying no J-Ron Curse from no $1 million to no $8 million. Now, when I hear $5 million because Keanu Neal is a strong safety and he's making $4 million a year, so I could see the $5 million. But Stephen Jones, I feel, ain't going past no $5 million a year with no J-Ron Curse, and ain't saying he ain't sweet.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Hold on, Wes.
That's what I'm saying.
25 seconds.
He ain't getting that. He gonna get that $5 million. He ain't getting $8 million, bro. He ain't getting $8 million, bro. You crazy? He ain't getting it. He ain't getting $8 million. You talking crazy?
Well, this is what I'm saying. If the Cowboys are, hey, you know what, James? I'll concede to you. If the Cowboys are able to get him for $5, bruh, I will give you a dap through the framer. Because then the Cowboys
actually, you ought to get a little bet on it. Let's bet 20 on it. Ooh, I want no dap. Let's throw 20 on it.
I want you to be right. But you said what? When I said $8 million,
they ain't getting no $8 million a year.
That's my cap. If the Cowboys can keep him under $8 million, I'm okay with that. But 8 is my cap. You want to know why? Because I have Dalton Schultz on the other side making $8 million, and I know what that contract.
You think Dalton Schultz is coming back? Do you really think Dalton Schultz is coming back?
Blake Jarwin's making $8 million right now. He made $8 million in 2020 and only played a game. You know what I'm saying?
But you want to pay Dalton Schultz too. You want to pay 2 tight ends that kind of money?
You gotta pay. What are you talking about? You
got one tight end at 9 million, and then you're gonna sign another one who's probably gonna get 11 or 12.
No, I already said you put 20. You can actually release Dalton. You can actually release Blake Jarwin. That's what I just said. I said you can release Blake Jarwin because his deal was only a 3-year deal. You can release him, and you can literally move that money onto Dalton Schultz. And there,
that's
you have $8 million that you're already. You have $8 million that you've already calculated that you're going to pay. You're just not going to pay it to Jarwin. You're going to pay it to Schultz. Either way. And then guess what you do?
Because you're not going to keep both of them.
Listen.
Dalton Schultz, you know what I would do? I would literally give Dalton Schultz Blake Jarwin's contract. Listen to me, bro. I think you are better than Dalton Schultz. I'm going to give you, he got $8 million. I'm going to give you $8.2 million contract. And guess what? I'm not even losing any money because I've already in my mind allocated that I was going to pay $8 million to a tight end anyway. Only difference is I go in and just scratch off the name. You know what I'm saying? Hey. And from a 4th round pick to $8 million, bruh, he going to love that. And you got to think about this. Dalton Schultz, we up here talking about J-Ron Curse. Listen to me. I'll lose J-Ron Curse if I got to keep Dalton Schultz. I'm going to keep it real. Because right now, Dalton Schultz, people ain't giving him his love, but that dude's a top 6 in his position. Bro, you don't let a top 6
no. I gotta box you on that one, West Coast. I got to box you myself, dog.
Listen.
God damn.
Listen,
no.
We are
talking about this year. We are talking about this year. This year, he's 6th in receptions and tight ends. He's 4th in reception and touchdowns and tight ends. Yards per catch, he's 3rd by tight ends. Bro, every statistical
I got the time on. I ain't going to say nothing. I ain't going to say nothing.
He's regular.
I ain't going to say nothing. Go
ahead.
He's
regular because he doesn't excite you. He wasn't regular in his offense. He saved us on many times.
That's because
hold on, wait. Let's keep.
So then guess what? You gotta keep him. You gotta keep him.
I'm saying. Hold on. But you act like he's a world. You act like he's a world beater.
Everybody breathe.
I'm not beating, but he's back.
Everybody breathe. West Coast. Hold on. Because now we starting to talk over each other. I want to make sure the fans can hear all of us. I stop the clock.
I'm good. Y'all, I'm done. Y'all got the arguments now. I have my fun. I'm listening to y'all now.
I'm on this argument. Go ahead, West Coast. I want you to finish. I'm going to give you a full minute uninterrupted.
There you go.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this right here. Dak Prescott, if Dalton Schultz is so important to Dak Prescott's success. You want to know why? Because of exactly what the Big James just said. Our quarterback loves the check down. So guess what? If our quarterback loves the check down, you need to keep the guy that he loves the check down too. Because until he fixes that, we just can't take that away from Dak. I think if you take Schultz away and just put some average tight ends, guess what? Now Dak is checking down to some average tight ends. He needs, until Dak is a better thrower of the football, you got to keep Dalton Schultz because he is his eraser. Man, there were so many times where Dak should have took a sack, and guess what he did? And he get it to Dalton Schultz. I'm gonna tell you something else that Dalton Schultz does better than anybody on this coaching. I'm gonna take my CVs when I say this too. Dalton Schultz, he understands Dak when he breaks coverage better than anybody. Go look at the film. Go look who actually turns around, breaks their routes, and come back. It's not Cooper. It's not CeeDee Lamb. It's Dalton Schultz every time. And that's why he's the second leading target person. If I didn't even say Dalton Schultz's name, and I just said what he meant to this offense, you're getting reading the third TD leader on your team, the second most targeted person on offense. You would be like, there's no way we're getting rid of Amari Cooper. No, that's not Amari Cooper. If Dak is willingly not going to throw the ball to his outside receivers, bro, we got to have dominant. We got to have Schultz. You got to. And think about Schultz.
All right, time up. You got to watch your time, big dog.
Let me chime in real quick, Boss Cowboy. So listen,
wait. No, this is my fight. This is my fight. I got you next, OC. We jumping the big homie, dog. I'm gonna turn on this. But I promise I'm gonna pass it right to you. And then I'm gonna give West Coast 2 minutes to answer both of us. That's how we gonna do this. That's gonna be the fairest way to do this. All right, here we go. I start the clock. All right, because I honestly believe that Schultz is fool's gold to a degree. Now, as a player, he can ball. He can ball as a player. But to our system, I think he's a little bit of Kellen Moore-ish. When Kellen Moore, that we've learned, is relying on a system, right? There's a person in his system that's a little bit too attached to Dak. If we want Dak to let it rip, I think you got to take the training wheels off him, and Dalton Schultz is his training wheels. Because there was a time. Hold on. I'm not finished. I didn't interrupt you. So this is the deal. So it's his training wheels. As a matter of fact, I got to give myself some more time, man. I got to give myself about.
Wait a minute.
No, I do, bro.
Okay, go.
He still interrupted me. Oh, it's gonna be order.
Like that win. Why does Dak have
No. I know you want to go big dog. I know you want to go big dog, but there's an order in this house. Hey, no. No, I didn't interrupt you, dog.
Come on, man.
All right, here we go.
Come on.
Hey, all right, let's get to it. All right, give me my time back. I've got my
time.
He
who remains.
I've got my time. So this is the deal. The times that Dak was playing his best quarterback play was when Schultz and Jarwin were bad. And that's a fact. That was also because, like, this system stuff need to be broken apart all the way. Because under this system, Cedric Wilson and Schultz get way too many targets. It's not a good thing when your targets equal Cooper. That's bad.
Word. That was perfect.
I was right on time, too. OC.
Go ahead, OC.
Yeah, man. So look, real quick, Dalton Schultz is the check down safety net for Dak Prescott, and in some ways, I believe he's impeded his development. What they did was they replaced Jason Witten with this guy, okay? Because Blake Jarwin got hurt. Blake Jarwin is more so of a hybrid. He's a guy that you can line up wide and challenge people up the seams with longer routes and complete the football, right? So if you look at this thing, I don't have an issue with Schultz himself, right? I don't. But I do have an issue with his market value. And I think his market cap and his market value is going to be a little bit too much. And I don't think that he's worth it to bring back. I think that you roll with which you have with Blake Jarwin, who to me is the better receiver and has the best upside. I believe that you also open up this offense a little bit more with a Jarwin versus a Schultz, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, you can re-sign him, but I don't think that you're going to be able to re-sign him based upon the over 104 targets, his 800 some odd yards, and his 10 touchdowns he had this year, that his market cap is going to be a little bit too high, and thus you need to part ways. That's my
But time out. Time out.
That was a good one.
Time out. You got 2 minutes to respond to both of us.
Bruh, when was the last time come on, bruh. Like, y'all be trying to act like Schultz is about, like, what? I will refer back to this. Players know that they are not Dan Elway and they are not Tony Gonzalez. They understand exactly who they are. Like, this is a performance-based business. So I think, like, sometimes we say, like, overpaid or underpaid. Listen, I don't have a problem with paying a player what they're worth. Like Schultz, what his market value is that of a starting tight end that is etching into the top 10. Because you got to remember, you're paying Schultz somewhat of what he's done, and then you're also paying Schultz for what he's going to be in the future. The reason why you do that is so that every single year you're not coming back to the drawing board having to redo the contract. So do I believe Dalton Schultz will get better each year? Well, let's just look at the stats. His first year as a starting tight end, he had 600-some yards, 4 touchdowns. Well, guess what? Blake Jarwin, the next year, they slotted him as he knew for a fact, training camp. He was going to be the #1 target. What did he do? He added 300 more yards on there, and he doubled his touchdown asset. Also, he was your leading first round. He was your leading first down he converted more first downs than anybody on this team. So that's not really even Zeke. That's not Dak really leaning on him. Like, that's the offense leaning on him. That's Kellen Moore calling plays towards him. I'm going to tell you this. If Kellen Moore, this is where I will concede. If Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator of this team and Dak Prescott is the quarterback of this team, Dalton Schultz is too important to let him walk. He's too important. Why? Because of everything I just said. Now, if your offensive coordinator gets better or things change, because I love what you say about the inline tight end and all that other stuff. Bro, we could have drafted Kyle Pitts. He would have had 500 yards. You want to know why? Because we don't even throw the ball to Amari Cooper deep. So how am I going to even think that the Cowboys are going to throw the ball deep to a tight end? That just don't happen, man. Like, if Dak is in, I'm going to tell you this. Go ahead.
Yeah, give him the timeout.
Let me jump in real quick.
Let me jump in this one because that's crazy, dog. That's crazy.
Hold on. It's big time.
That's crazy.
I need to
get in here.
Hold on. I said this. I got downs, dog.
I am the moderator up in here, and we would have order. Go big.
My thing is this, dog. We're doing the eye test on this one. I'm sorry. We're doing the eye test on this one, dog. Dalton Schultz is regular. He's witness.
No, he's
he's
not.
regular. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
You know what? If he went somewhere else, see. Hold on. All you talking about is numbers, dog. Hold on. Let me talk. Let me talk. Why are you talking? Did I interrupt you when you just so sit down and listen to this. Sit down and listen to this. Sit down and listen to this. I'm about to tell you. Sit down and listen to this. All right. So you can see you just wasting your breath. You're wasting your breath, dog. You know why you're wasting your breath? Because Dalton Schultz is regular. The reason why it's good because Dak Prescott, because Dak Prescott was checked down king, and he was making them. And just what Ball said, you don't want him being the second leading receiver, dog. Come on, bro. We know Blake Jarwin is a better receiver.
Hey,
we know Blake Jarwin.
All right, I'm gonna get my mute on. Listen, I'm gonna start muting.
Yeah, mute him.
That's the next step.
Who is the better receiver? It's Blake Jarwin. Blake Jarwin's problem is he's been hurt. That's Blake Jarwin's problem.
Let me give you your time back, bro.
Reclaiming my time.
I'm giving you 40 seconds. And I'm doing this for the chat.
I only need 30 seconds. I only need 30 seconds.
I got 30 seconds, big dog. All right. I just want to listen.
Give me 30.
Everybody listen. This is also everybody can hear. This is no disrespect to everybody. We all smart guys. We all passionate guys. We got different ideas, and we just hashing it out in a friendly way. So you got it, big.
All right. So Yeah, Schultz he's a good player. I'm not dogging, but do we remember all them years when we were saying Schultz is a bust? Schultz is a bust.
He
Schultz
was young. He was a rookie, bro. Like, come on,
see what I'm saying? Mute him, please. You just mute him. Be quiet.
Like, you making no sense.
Wait. Yes, mute.
Making no
Bro,
sense.
I'm making perfect sense. You actually don't know what the hell you're talking about with Dalton Schultz, bro. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Period. With this Blake Jarwin thing. Blake Jarwin is a better receiver than him. He offers more speed than him. And the reason why he hasn't been that guy, because he's been hurt. And that's why Schultz stepped up, because Blake Jarwin got hurt.
All right, we got the OC. Go, O.
Yeah,
and then
so
we got
listen,
West,
man.
then West Coast gonna be able to respond.
So listen, this thing is a matter of economics, and it's no offense to anybody. Look, Dalton Schultz signed a 4-year, $2.9 million contract. He is in line for a huge payday. Based on PPF, which I'm not saying they're the gospel and they know everything, but they project him to be worth around a 4 to 5 year, $45 million deal. If they're wrong, okay, if they're wrong and he's around a $30 million deal over 4 years, that's still too rich based upon the salary cap and what else you need to do to strengthen this team, in my opinion. And also, it's not about what players think they're worth. It's what the market demands. And if you go back and look at tape previous on Blake Jarwin did catch deep passes. He did catch 20 and 30-yard passes up the seam. Then he was hit by Dak Prescott. He did line up wide and beat people in certain situations and caught the ball down the field. So he is, to me, more of a stretch not wide receiver, but a stretch tight end in terms of what you want to do getting the ball down the field. And so I just feel like at the end of the day, sign whoever you want. But this is going to come down to an economical situation. And in my humble opinion, I don't believe the economics will work out.
That boy good.
They will.
That was good.
The fact that we're having this conversation, LC, I love what you said, because it is going to come down to economics, but we can all agree that if we're having this conversation, he is not regular, because we don't have this conversation this long on a TV show with this many educated dudes about regular tight ends. Facts. There are currently 64 tight ends active in the NFL, and we're not talking about the rest of them 60 of them because they're regular and we don't know who they are. But this guy right here was 4th in the NFL, and there was not a tight end stat that he was not top 5 in. You got to respect that. Like, you got to respect that. There's no way you can say he was regular. He wasn't even regular last year. He was irregular last year. So, but I get it. But I just feel like this. If you get a better offensive coordinator, hey, you might be able to alleviate Schultz. But I'm assuming that Kellen Moore's not getting a job. Like, the dude's not good. Like, I don't even know why people were even surprised he's not getting. Like, I was way ahead. Like, bro, he's not getting no job. Kellen Moore's going to be back here. So what I am assuming is everything is going to be exactly the same. So if everything's going to be the same, you need to enhance those parts. You know what I'm saying? Dalton Schultz with an additive of telling Dak to throw the ball down deep to Amari Cooper.
Time out.
Go ahead.
Time out.
Listen. Boy, this show right here, man.
Hey, listen. I want to flip the whole topic. I love it. I'm gonna flip the whole topic. Cause see, this is what I love. Everybody's smart and everybody got a different way of moving forward. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to nobody ideas, but that was a good debate. I won the whole thing.
I won the whole thing, dog. I won the whole thing tonight. I won the whole thing, bro. Boss, you wasn't even close. You was in last place today, boss. Boss, you was in last place today.
You're so whack.
Give yourself that thing. Give yourself that. Yeah, there you go. Give it to yourself right now. Give it to him. Law, give it to him.
How you play pickup basketball? You play the pickup basketball. You bought the ball, and by the time you get out on 21, hey man, I gotta go, man. Give me the ball, man. Why you gotta go?
Give him the shame. Give him the shame. Give him the shame. I need shame.
Hey, let me listen. Can I flip the shame?
Shame. Shame.
Oh man, the shame. Oh, I got hit with the shame button. I finally got hit with a button. Law, you know when I come back, I'm gonna be loaded, big dog. You already know I'm gonna be button gamed up. You shouldn't have shamed me, dog.
Look, you can't declare your own victory and you can't give your own self a new nickname.
I
You can't
know, right?
do those
Exactly.
things.
I know,
Come on,
shame. Dog, good debate, dog. Dog, good debate. Like, listen, I took away some good ideas. I love West Coast idea about flipping Jarwin and Schultz, being creative, you know, because he is right on that. I love that idea. And I definitely agree with your order and rank of us not having defensive ends, James. I agree with the OC on Schultz and the expensiveness. So it was good points raised by everybody. I just had the best points. That's the issue, is I was the best today.
Hey, Boss Cowboy, but let me just say this, though. Hey, I just got to say this, though. You can't commit too soon in the free agency because you got to wait. It's a waiting game. Like I said, you got to go long on some of these guys because there's going to be other teams that have to get up under the cap and they're going to be releasing some of their guys. And then you got to let the draft triculate through too. So I would bet that the Cowboys will try to contain some of these guys as it relates to the defensive side of the coin, but they're going to sit back and wait on the offensive side because I'm quite sure you can find playmakers out there.
All right, so check this. I want to get to the subject before we get to the absolute final words from everybody. I want to talk about Dez and Tad Prescott on a man level and get everybody thoughts on how we can come together and, you know, talk to each other, maybe if it's accountability or even if it's
what's
a
that
message. I think that's West Coast. Someone West
That
Coast.
Mike West.
That's not me. I'm not saying anything. I'm sitting here.
No, it's a noise. Like it's like something rubbing against a mic or something.
It's good now. It's good now.
Oh, it's gone.
It's good.
It's good.
Yep, it's good.
All right, so I want to talk about, because I never talked to y'all about the Dez thing. I started off with you, Law.
All right. What Dez said was pretty much on point, but I believe if you're sincere about it, you reach out to someone personally, individually. My biggest thing about Dez Bryant, of what he did that violates man law, is screenshotting it with the number, doxing. Everything else, he's right on the page with it, I believe. And I think that with Tad, people fail to realize, when you talk about brethrens, I live by the creed of 133rd Psalms, you know what I'm saying? Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethrens to dwell together in unity. Right. I'm going to go to the edge of the earth to defend my brother publicly, but I'm going to reach out to my brother individually and say, hey, dog, you're wrong about this. So I believe Tad Prescott, listening into what everybody's saying on a negative connotation, adding the fact that what Dez Bryant said, and knowing that Dez Bryant probably reached out to Tad Prescott on some other stuff negative about certain quarterbacks. And now you had to merge all of that into one. Tad was just defending his brother going to the edge of the earth. But I think that all of this stuff shouldn't play out the way it did. But shout out to Dez Bryant for being concerned, but wrong on him for doxing. You don't do that part of it. And let's not fight so everybody can see it on the streets. Let's figure out a way where you can go meet each other. Tad Prescott, he's in Dallas. Dez Bryant is in Dallas. They could have just met up somewhere and talked about that.
Yeah, man.
Well,
I mean, it's going to be real short on my end.
Go ahead, OC.
Now, this will be real short on my end, man. And, man to man is lame, is whack, is weak. You don't take a private conversation and put it out in the public. You don't have your fights with people that you have relationships with on social media. So, it's a cloud chasing move as far as I'm concerned. And, there's no need to do it. You need to just simply have a conversation, have a phone call with the guy, or just DM the guy personally. That's how you deal with stuff, and that's what men should do. Period, point blank.
You know what? I'm gonna just bounce off of OC. It was nothing but clout chasing to me. That's what this social media world has done now. Everybody wants to post stuff for clout. They don't do it for real. They just want to post it and see how many people liked it and retweeted it and all that good stuff. That's what it's all about. And like you said, we some grown men. You shouldn't even be doing that. We all know within each other in our circle that we wouldn't even do that to each other. The first thing that we would do would be hit each other up and like, hey man, what's good? What's going on? We would handle this like men, and we would not be on Twitter and doing it because, see, to me, if we were to jump out and me and Law would argue, or me and Boss or OC or Tyson to argue out on just Twitter, to me it is clout chasing. Because why? Why do you want everybody to know your business?
Right.
Because you want people to know your business. That's the whole point. You want people to know this because it keeps you relevant. That's the thing. It keeps you relevant. Tad is always going to do that with his brother, so I can't really blame him. He go little too far from me. He talk a little too much from me, but so does Dez. You feel me? Dez don't know when to be quiet neither. Both of y'all are immature people, in my opinion, in this, and y'all both know better, and you need to stop it and make some apologies as soon as possible.
I think what happened is two of the same type of people ran into each other. They both alphas. And I got a brother. You know what I'm saying? I got a brother.
That is not no alpha.
Hey, that man, I'm about to mute you again, dog.
I gotta agree with him on that one. I ain't giving him the alpha status.
No.
Okay,
no.
so let me okay.
I'm not giving it to him.
Man, y'all ain't finna cut off my stuff, brother.
All right.
I'll go last, boss.
Okay.
I'll go last.
I can't give him that.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry.
We gonna get you. Yeah, we got you last already. But I say this: I take back the alpha part because I don't even know him personally. I'm just talking about how it was addressed, where it was all in the public. Y'all forgive me for saying alpha too fast. All right. So I just scratched that part. I don't even need that to make the big point. The big point is I definitely understand somebody defending their brother. I also understand somebody feeling like my brother can't say, but I can say it. I can say what he can't say. You know what I mean? And I want to be that dude because I know my brother can't. So I see both sides of it. You know what I mean? And I've been a person, listen, can I look in the camera and be transparent right now? I've been the person that's went too far on social media myself. You know what I'm saying?
We all been there. We all been there.
I've been that person that knocks people.
We all have.
Boop, boop. I done hit people with a 1, 2, 3, and then was like, okay, I live with the consequences later. And this is the thing. Like, I want to tell a quick story. I've told this story before, but I thought by accident that Law plagiarized me on something.
Oh, yeah.
And I was finna go at my dog, right? But I called him. That was the smart thing that I did. I called him. And he said, boss, I was featuring your stuff. Somebody took a screenshot, and that's why his logo looked like it was over my work. And then Law told me something I never forgot. And I still try to live to this day. He said, boss, we got to learn how to bump shoulders the right way as brothers.
You can go ahead and say the whole thing, man.
I said how you said it. He said, as black
brothers,
men, we gotta learn how to bump shoulders a certain way.
Real talk.
And I
the counterparts ain't gonna understand that part of it. But go ahead and say
I
it,
sat
man.
back.
That's real though.
And I thought about it. The consequences, if I would have just did what my first reaction was to go to war with the homie. All of the collabs and all of the work that we all been doing, all of us together, would have never happened because I would have did way too much like this.
Yep.
So I would say this: Dez don't get a pass, Thad don't give a pass. Everybody, in my opinion, should go underground and talk amongst each other, and that's what I learned from Law from me messing up. So that's my thoughts on that, and that's just keeping it as real as I can keep it.
Well, shoot, boss. Not trying to clout chase at all, but just as in context, boss. You know who I had a conversation with, a full in-depth conversation.
Yes, I do.
You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, Dez Bryant pulled up in my inbox to talk to me about this exact situation. Now I can't talk about everything that we talked about, but there are a few things that I've now talked to him today, and that he knows that I'm gonna talk about. And the one thing I wanted to kind of read was the first thing, because I made a video on this and I kind of stressed both points. Dez's point, and I kind of was understanding to Dad's point. And in response to my video, this is what Dez said. Dez said, "I'm bothered the fact that Dak's brother came at me like that. I really didn't think it was that serious. I analyzed the game just like everyone. I defend Dak more than a lot of people." He says, "I've reached out to former players and current players for advice to better my game. I would understand if Dak needed to go." He said, "I would have understand if I said Dak needs to go watch Patrick Mahomes or a current cornerback who's playing in the playoffs. That would make sense if someone, or he could feel some type of way." Dez said, the fans love when I speak about the boys. If I'm Dak, I'm reaching out to 9 because it can only elevate my game with the talent he has. He says, "I'm having a hard time, West Coast, understanding the issue with the statement I made." And and Boss Cowboy, you got the screenshot of this conversation that I have with Dak.
I got it.
Also, just from my conversation with Dez, man, you know what Dez really did? Dez sat back and watched Kurt Warner. He watched Drew Pearson say that he ain't a $40 million quarterback. He sat back and watched Kurt Warner put out a video that just sliced and diced. You know what I'm saying? You have all these people who currently are affected by the Cowboys in some way, all saying these negative things about Dak Prescott, right? So I believe in Dez's own way. I think his delivery sucked. You know what I'm saying? But I think, and I have a problem, and I think this is why, guys like Dez and guys like Jalen, why I've been able to become really good close friends with these guys, because we have a lot of the same traits. We have good intentions, but our delivery sucks sometimes. So I apologize if I ever offended anybody in the past, because I'm working on that to help get my delivery better. You know what I'm saying? But I just think in Dez's own way, Dez was trying to offer advice.
Yeah.
You got to remember, bro, personal
I
corner,
agree.
you got to remember X6I. Go ahead.
No, I said I agree.
Okay,
especially because he's talking to you like that in private. You know what I mean?
But this is the thing. This is the thing, though. This is the thing. They've already had banter like this about their play in public. So if Dez already feels that it's acceptable for him to have comments like that about Dak in the public, and they converse back and forth, then why would he change? And you got to see it like this. Dez, from the conversation that I've had from him, his motives were not malicious. So you got to think like this. It's like when your motives are not malicious, you go about it in the most normality way you do. Right. Everybody's tweeting, texting, and that's what he just did. He just text. But this is the thing. Dez has a long history of defending Dak. And that also, when we're questioning what Dez does in the past, we also need to, make sure that we have that laundry list of times that Dez defended him. And to be honest with you, like I said, I've spoken to Dez twice now about this, 2 days now about this situation. And I do not believe that he was trying to be malicious. I do believe that, and I will say this. With the amount of time that Dez spends on social media and in front of people, he got to make some investments in his life. Like me, I got braces, I got glasses. Those are investments I made into my life. Dez, he needs a publicist. You know what I'm saying? He needs someone that's like, before he hits in, wait, time out. I get what you're trying to say there, but you got to remember, he may not be this real NIGG like you. He may take this in a different way. So how about we rephrase it this way? Because, and I'm going to be honest with you, if we think about Dez, that's how he's always been. Dez has always been raw. You know what I'm saying? He's always basically said the wrong, even when he was with Dallas, Dez has always said the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Yeah, but it also, Wes, it ain't no excuse for that. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't no excuse.
And I know you're not making no excuse for that. I'm just saying, he should.
If it was malicious,
no. When he took the screenshot and put it out,
you can't show nobody's phone number.
No. Let me explain to you the screenshot.
There ain't no explaining no screenshot.
You can make an excuse. Let me explain to you why he did that. The reason why he did that is because Thad made this statement. He said on Twitter that you are the same man who talked crap about Tony Romo and talk about Jason Witten and Tony Romo and other guys behind their backs while you're hugging on me. And Dez put that tweet out to combat that lie. That's why he said that. That's why he screenshot and sent that. Tad is the one that made that personal.
I get it. Yeah, I just hate all of it.
That was
hate it all.
I
just hate it all.
You still don't do that.
I hate it all.
You do.
There's a rule. There's a rule. But this is social media, dog. This ain't no trial. This ain't no trial. You ain't going on trial for this.
I just don't want to see
going on trial for this.
What did Tad say?
I don't want to see brothers abuse.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I just feel like, you know what? You just don't do that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. You just don't do
so
that.
Then why
the phone number was exposed. The phone number is exposed. You don't do that, in my opinion. That's what I said.
Hold on. Hey, we not going to
I just told you what he did.
We gonna get into the final word, bro. We're gonna get into the final word. Let me get into the final word, y'all. Listen, I'm gonna get off of that because we not gonna agree. It's gonna be a circle if we try to get into that. I'm not gonna even do it. All right. So final words as we final words as we I would say final words can be whatever you want it to be. So I'll start. So as a final word, I obviously want to kind of deal with what was hot today. That's Sean Payton. All right. So with that Sean Payton thing, I still kind of like what's happening. I definitely like how Big said it, that Big read it to me right, that this is something that's been in the works for a while. He destroyed their cap and he's trying to get out of there and move on to higher pastures and greener pastures. Maybe not now, but definitely in the near future. He's definitely flirting with his options. But I do like how, even though it should have already been, like the OC said, pressure on McCarthy, this increases the pressure on McCarthy, and I like that. I like that the Dallas Cowboys is a type of Lakers organization to where we have the ability to draw the best, you know, and that's a beautiful thing. We can get Bill Parcells if he want to coach. We can go get a Mike McCarthy and unsully a powerful man. And another powerful coach is likely lining up again some kind of way for the Dallas Cowboys. And, you know, hope is thin right now for good reason, but we still have a little bit of reasons to hope that the right dynamics can come together, whether it be Mike McCarthy or a future with Sean Payton, and we can win 6.
Yeah, guys. So at the end of the day, man, it doesn't matter who you bring into this organization. You have to empower the coach to do the coaching. And I'm going to say that 5 million times. And so the Cowboys are at the place where they're going to have to begin to make some key decisions if they're going to turn the tide. Who are the key free agents that you need to keep? Who do you need to have in your first at least 3 rounds on your draft board? And how do you right the wrongs of this season in the public eye and keep your fan base strong? Those are the issues that the Cowboys are going to have to work with this offseason, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. Hashtag straight business.
The OC.
It's no emotions, no friends, no loyalty.
Straight business.
Straight business.
Put hashtag straight business in the chat.
Well, I'm going to go right quick. I'm just tired of the lies. I'm tired of the lies. I'm tired of the lies. Step back, please. I seen one dude named Mike Brown who owns the Cincinnati Bengals, and he was the only other owner that owned, general manager, and was the executive president of the team. He was the Jerry Jones of the Midwest. And trust me, I live out here. I seen all the stories from Carson Palmer, Corey Dillon, Carl Pickens. So many players complained about this dude, saying he was set in his ways. He's a power-hungry guy. He ain't never going to change, and Cincinnati ain't never going nowhere. They kept saying it every year. Mike Brown, step back and let somebody else do this so this team can work. He wouldn't do it. But the last couple of years, he took some steps back. He stepped off the NFL committee. He stepped back. He's still the president. He's still the owner, but he's letting his daughter manage most of the football operations. And lo and behold, they in the AFC Championship. So for me to say this, you have an owner that was just like that, who was hard-headed, stubborn, and wasn't changing. But maybe something popped in his head, said, you know what? I ain't got time to keep doing this, man. I'm going to sit back and trust some people, man. I'm going to trust these people, and I'm going to let them do it. And when he did it, here they are. And I think this is going to be something that maybe not an AFC Championship every year, but now you see the door finally opening because you're trusting your people to do the job. Jerry Jones, please look at Mike Brown over there in Cincy. They're over in the AFC Championship. He finally took a step back, and the door finally opened. Look at that, please, because until you do that, it's going to be the same ugly, nasty, fake, dirty circle that you're going to try to fool us with. Hey, I love being a Cowboy.
Big Game James.
Game changer.
Let's have some fun. Let's have a good time, man. Let's kick it.
All right, Wes, I got to hit your button, big dog. You give me 1 second, and then you got the final word, big homie. Y'all give me 1 second, man.
Never look down because the stones are up.
Yeah, no, boss is the
Law
final
go
word.
last, big dog.
I mean, law's the
That's right, law's last.
He's trying to produce. You know what I'm saying? A dude over here trying to produce it. Don't even know what he's doing.
Never look down
okay,
because the
you
stones
capping,
are
boy.
up.
Shut the mouth. Stop that cap.
We need the little logo. We need the little.
Okay. You whack juice, man. You whack juice.
You messing up the show, bro. I'm trying to hit the button for the big homie, dog.
He said I love. He said hey OC, I'm using that whack juice.
Whack juice.
I'm using whack juice.
Hey, hit the button for my man Wes, boss, man. Wes has been patient and everything.
Wes is right here. You disturbing the production again. Sit down, OC. Sit your ass down. Sit down. This is supposed to be the final word where nobody talks but the person, but you talking anyway, dog. All right, Wes. Before you was rudely interrupted by the OC, what's your final words, big dog?
First off, fire Kellen Moore. He does not deserve to be the offensive coordinator next year. And all right, John. Second thing, even though it's not gonna happen.
Hold on, big dog. I got to give you an organ on that one. Go ahead.
Fire Kellen Moore. If you don't fire Kellen Moore, then you need to find a way to enhance what the things that he does best. Kellen Moore likes throwing the ball to tight ends. So if he's going to be our offensive coordinator next year, we need to keep your tight end that he throws the ball more to. On defense, if Dan Quinn is not going to be here, on defense. On defense.
Go ahead, bro.
On defense. If Dan Quinn is not going to be here, then my number one, I feel like Dan Quinn is going to probably try to take Joe Witt with him because it makes sense. Dan Quinn understands. I think Dan Quinn feels that Atlanta necessarily wasn't a failure, but I think he felt like he didn't have the right people in place because in Atlanta is going to be, if you notice, with the Cowboys, everywhere he's been interviewing, there's been places that have also been interviewing for defensive coordinators. I can definitely see Dan Quinn wanting to take Joe Witt with him to wherever he goes. So if that does happen, then I feel that my boy George Edwards would be next in line to get that position. But I'm gonna be honest with you, no matter who the defensive coordinator is, he needs to have a defensive line background, and he has to have he has to understand Micah Parsons, because as good as Micah Parsons is, as Micah Parsons and his development going forward is going to depend on this defensive coordinator. And this defensive coordinator needs to be a guy who don't have a lot of ambition, because I don't need another Dan Quinn. I don't need a guy to come in here for a year and then he leaves, and then Micah Parsons on his third defensive coordinator in 3 years. You know what I'm saying? I need a guy who I can actually keep here, who can at least get Micah Parsons through his first contract, so I can understand what I have in Micah Parsons. You know what I'm saying? So that's really on my. And then free agency, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. The Cowboys tend to typically mess it up on free agency, so we can go back and forth on who it is. But I know the Cowboys love signing their own. And I could easily see the Dallas Cowboys using a Dallas Cowboy as a reason on why they can't go out into the market. Because you guys remember over the last couple of years, Dak Prescott was the reason why we couldn't go big shopping. Why? Because we got the number one free agent in market. Who was that? Dak Prescott, our own guy. The Dallas Cowboys put a lot of stake in paying their own guys so that they ain't got to pay other people. You know what I'm saying? So I can easily see them paying Dalton and saying Dalton was the best pickup for free agent offensive weapon that we could have, and using that as an excuse to do what they normally do, pick up a bunch of free agents in the third week of free agency. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell y'all this. The same thing I'm telling my people on my live, man, is this. I will know if we're going to the playoffs in May. I'm going to just keep it real with you. I will know if we're going to the playoffs in May. And the reason being is because last year, the Dallas Cowboys only brought in 3 free agents in the entire season. Two of them were running backs, and the other one was a kicker. We brought in Ito, we brought in Corey Clement, and we brought in the Hakaluka dude, the kicker dude. You know what I'm saying? The Dallas Cowboys, when we build our team in April, that's the team you're going to be running with the entire season. Unless someone dies, gets killed, or gets kidnapped, they're not moving anybody. So that's why I said all these moves that we make, that's why also to the fans, you guys got to really watch right now. Because I'm gonna tell you, if you just log in like September, bro, it's gonna be late. You're gonna have guys like me, Boss, and Law, and Big James, and who have already pretty much set and understand what's gonna happen. Why? Because we're paying attention to all these little breadcrumbs. So this offseason is very, very important, and it's very important that we get it right, man. That's all I gotta say. And run the damn ball, man. I don't give a damn. Figure that shit out, bro. Like the Titans brought back Derrick Henry so that they can run the ball. They didn't care. You got to run the damn ball. That's what you have to do in the NFL. And more importantly, that's what we have to do. Cowboys, stop being afraid of who you are. That's all I got to say.
All right, real quick, before your final word, Law, I did want to say something real quick. I was just joking when I hit him with the
Listen,
I want to say this real quick.
I be snapping so hard, man. I don't even be paying attention to the sound
but
effects.
Listen, I want to say this real quick because me and you the same. You serious about your ideas. You know what I mean? And I'm like that too. You know what I mean? And I like for my ideas to be taken serious. So people don't know our relationship. Like we joke, but when it comes to ideas, we dead ass serious. So I just want to let everybody know that is a serious idea and a good idea too. Because what he said was, if you go keep Kellen Moore, you need to keep what makes his weak system at least work a little bit, which is Schultz. And that's common sense, and that's why I rock with the homie. You know what I mean? He didn't come in here with an idea that he was so in love with that he didn't think through the details of it, and I appreciate that.
No doubt, man. Well, I really appreciate everybody, man, for jumping in for this beautiful episode. One thing that the Cowboys must do is in the last Super Bowl we won, Troy Aikman said that we had to win in spite of the coaches. Well, if this team want to win the Super Bowl, it's going to have to be that times we have to win in spite of Jerry Jones. Now, I hate to say that, Jerry Jones, if he ever leave this plane and go this dimension and go to the next one, it will be a situation where there would never be a wet eye, there would never be a dry eye in the building. So my thing is, Cowboy Nation, let's focus in on the strength. I know we can look at the negatives of Dak Prescott, but let's focus in on the strength. What made us win the game when we was winning? I think West Coast brought out a brilliant point, and that was running the ball. So let's get back to running the ball. Let's establish this offensive line this offseason. Keep in mind, everybody complaining about the quarterback, but there's a quarterback in the playoff still playing to this day that have not thrown a touchdown in the playoff, and he have more interceptions than touchdowns. And that is because they run the ball, they systematic with their approach, and on top of that, they're playing a sound and solid defense. If Dan Quinn is leaving, if Joe Witt is gone, man, we need to figure out a way to bring in somebody that can solidify this defense just the same. Because one thing that I don't want people to miss out is that this guy, Parsons, he was honored today. And I want people to look into this thing and say, if we can build around Parsons, my goodness, look what teams did with defense. I come here to tell you, Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a Super Bowl with defense. The Ravens got a Super Bowl with defense. Eli Manning won a Super Bowl because of the defense. Let me go a little bit further, Cowboy Nation. Even Joe Flacco, I can keep going and on and going about solid football play with good defense, run the ball, secure the ball, and you can win even in this modern day time. So stop looking at other quarterbacks, Cowboy Nation, and focus in on what we need to do in order to elevate this team. Look, I get it. We're going to have a lot of negativity down the line because we didn't make it to the Super Bowl this year. But let's reel back. I believe that this particular organization, Will McClay, they signed and extended him for a reason, because he's good at picking out and getting these guys ready for the draft. And regardless of who we pick, we're going to be high off that emotion. So let's continue to build around this defense. Let's add some complementary pieces back on the offense, and let's get this thing going for the 2022 season, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Man, you say we got to hit that boy Law with that.
3, 2, 1, drop it. Remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Those grills drop it hard. Let's go.
Well. We had the boy West Coast in the building, and we gon' definitely have the homie back. That is a must. I hope y'all enjoyed the back and forth with some of the best in the game. No doubt. Y'all still might be on camera, so don't go to sleep. For real. We got that boy West. We got the OC. He already done clocked out. Law. The nation. That boy done clocked out. He done clocked out, big. Yes, indeed, man. That's the final word, man. What's y'all thoughts, bro? What's y'all thoughts?
Had a good time tonight.
Yo, good time.
Yeah, man.
Had a good time tonight.
Yeah, good minds tonight. I like how everybody was thinking different, but had real good reasons why.
Right. Y'all hit that rewind. If you're on Facebook, sharing is caring, by the way. Share the Shaniqua, Pook, and Ray Ray. Yo, shout out to everybody who gave those donations. Donation. That's how you say it, yeah.
Let me try. Donation. Did I get it right?
No, boss.
You gotta get a hound in.
You gotta get donation.
Hold on. Let me get my courage up.
You gotta think like the show.
All right, let me get my courage up.
Come on.
Donation. Did I get it, big dog?
That was better, but you gotta hit the third one. Donation.
One more. Stream.
Okay,
y'all stay with us. Donation. Did I get it, dog?
You gotta go to the third one, man. You keep
stop.
Keep
fire, it up, bro. Just stop.
Plane.
Just stop.